D-Mace, Finnegan, and Donick 1025 The Game. Broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, and David Janes here with you. We hope you are having a wonderful Wednesday. A gorgeous, what word did we use the other day, Willie Donick?
Autumnal.
Where's my bell? I think David has the bell. Nope, there it is.
There it is.
There's the bell. Autumnal, a gorgeous autumnal day in our fair city. Jason McCourty, CBS Sports NFL analyst, and of course a former member of the Tennessee Titans. He will be on the call for Titans Colts on Sunday. He was on the call for Patriots Titans this past Sunday. He's going to join us in just a few moments. So we will catch up with Jason McCourty in just a few minutes. But while we wait for Jason, why don't we touch on the major breaking news in our state? After days of negotiations, Tony Vitello has been named the new manager of the San Francisco Giants, becoming the first manager directly hired from a college program without any experience as a professional coach. Here's a question I have for Willie Donick and all of you Vandy fans out there, and Vols fans too, at 615-737-1025. Our phone and text lines are driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. How will this affect the dynamic of the Tennessee-Vanderbilt baseball rivalry? Because Vitello, Willie, was a huge part of it.
Great question. First of all, congratulations to Tony Vitello. That is that's an unprecedented move that he makes. You talk about having the leap of faith to go from a place where you're very entrenched, you're nationally known, you're in Knoxville, Tennessee, coaching college baseball, to going to San Francisco and jump right into heading up a major league baseball team. That is a big, big change. So congrats to him. But we'll get to that question because that is, from a local standpoint, going to be the question. Who's the next guy and what does he do to keep fanning the flames of a great rivalry?
We will get back to Tony Vitello, but we are pleased to be joined on our phone line by CBS Sports NFL analyst and former member of the Tennessee Titans, Jason McCourty. Jason will call this week's game between the Titans and Colts. He was also on the call for last week's game between the Patriots and Titans. Jason, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
We're doing well, thank you. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, but you had the opportunity before the game this past Sunday to chat with Titans owner Amy Adams-Strunk, correct?
Yeah, I did.
Now, Amy Adams-Strunk doesn't do a lot of chatting with people around here, so we don't get to hear from her very often. So that's a unique opportunity for you. I know you touched on it during the broadcast, but I would love for you to share a little bit more about your conversation. What did she say about the direction of the franchise after firing Brian Callahan and where she feels things are going?
Yeah, we didn't get to go into deep detail, but I guess fortunate for me, I got a chance while I was still playing. Amy had taken over, and it was big for us as players at that point because she was around a lot more than previous. I got to the team as Bud Adams was getting older, but we got a chance to chat a little bit before the game, and I told her I wanted to talk about the franchise on air and wanted to get some of her thoughts. And her main thing was she showed a lot of respect and admiration for Brian Callahan and everything that he attempted to do, but just felt like it was time that being a part of the team and seeing the way that the fans and everybody was taken to the last year and a half, those hard decisions have to be made. And she felt like this was the time of it. She talked about last week in practice that felt like there was a newfound energy amongst the team and they were flying around and felt like the players were taking it all in stride and we're in a good place. We didn't go into deep details about the future and how they're going to go about choosing the next leader of the organization at the head coach position. It was more focused on what Sunday was going to feel like, and that was kind of our brief chat before the game.
Jason, a lot of attention, of course, around here on Cam Ward. You've had the opportunity to chat with Cam Ward and watch him up close and personal. One of the things a lot of Titans fans are concerned about is Cam Ward's turnover issues. He had 2 more turnovers on Sunday against the Patriots, including a I guess you could call it a sack fumble, but he lost the ball, leading to a Patriots touchdown. That was the second time in as many weeks that Cam Ward dropped a ball without being touched. So as you analyze Cam Ward, what must he do to correct that issue?
Well, I'll say this, getting a chance to talk to him and getting a chance to talk to some people within the building, he has everything in his makeup that you need to have as a franchise quarterback. The study habits, the ability to move on from the last play or the last game. So you love that about the young man, and you're fired up to have him, and you're building a part of your organization because you need to at least have that to have a chance to be a franchise quarterback. You see the talent, obviously. I think for him, a part of learning how to be an NFL player opposed to a college player is there's nothing more important than valuing the football. And he has all the playmaking skills in the world. But how do you balance the fact that on every single play, you can't make the game-winning play? Sometimes it is the simple play. So when you talk about dropping the football, realizing that, hey, I have to secure this at all costs. The one thing I got from this past game was we got a chance to talk to Drake May as well, obviously. And I asked him a little bit of just like, he's been on a heater, and you see the progression that he's been able to make within their system. And one of the things he talked about was understanding the meaning and the reason behind each and every play. If a play is supposed to be a 2-yard play, understand that and take it as a 2-yard play. If this is supposed to be a shot that we're taking down the field, understand that play. And if it's taken away, dump the ball down. I think for quarterbacks in the NFL, that's probably one of the hardest things to learn is just the reason why behind every single play and understanding it's okay to dirt a football. And I think we saw some of that from Cam in this past game. He went to scramble early in the game and was going to flick the ball out to the flat to the running back and decided to tuck it. So I think there's little moments that have to grow into consistent moments throughout the course of a ball game.
We'll talk with Jason McCourty, 13-year NFL vet, Super Bowl winner, and analyst with CBS Sports. Now, Jason, you saw this team last week, and in particular, you saw the defense. And you know that if you're going to play a aggressive style type of defense, everyone must communicate in the back end, and everyone must be playing at 100 miles per hour. What are you seeing from the Titans secondary, in particular, L'Jarius Sneed? Because the Sneed we thought we were going to get is not the Sneed we've gotten. I thought at worst case scenario was he get hurt after about 2 years, but he played good football. He hasn't played consistently good since he's gotten here, and a lot of it is contributed to injury.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the biggest thing. L'Jarius Sneed was a player I absolutely loved to watch on film while he was in Kansas City because, to your point, it wasn't like a zone heavy. He was on a team where they were playing man-to-man in your face, and he was following the best player. Those things translate. You should be able to do that no matter what city, what color the uniform is. Obviously, being hurt has meant a lot. The first touchdown to Austin Hooper, him and Diggs are communicating pre-snap, ball snaps, and they both go to cover the same guy. Stuff like that amongst two veterans, like you can't have that. There's no excuse to have those two guys not be on the same page. I think the long play to Kayshon Boutte, and you heard Boutte after the game where he said, we took advantage of some lazy cornerback play and lazy safety play. And I know Mike McCoy refuted that and said that wasn't the case. But when you look at that play, that's exactly what it looks like. And I don't know when you're studying film for Sneed, if he looked at that formation or the situation, 2-minute drill, and assuming that they're not going to take a shot down the field, but he never got out of his pedal. I mean, if I've got a guy covering me, he's just chilling, I run up on his toes, it's a wrap. And that's exactly what that play was. And when you have a guy that's a high-paid free agent, and not only that, he's one of the leaders that they're looking to, you need to have maximum effort, communication. The things that take no talent, you got to have those on every single play. And that just hasn't been the case for L'Jarius Sneed so far in the Tennessee Titans uniform.
Now, I watched that game, Jason, and listen, New England's a better team. I understand that. But when you look at the score, I didn't think they were 20 points better than Tennessee. I thought you have a bad team playing a team that's developing, getting better. But when you're a bad team, you can't make crucial mistakes. They had 4 plays in that game before half that pretty much doomed them. Kick out of bounds, the fumble by Cam, that was in the third quarter, and the 2 touchdowns, both on Sneed's side. How important is it for when you're not a good team that you can't make mistakes like that?
It's everything. And it's so funny because there are moments and momentum within games that completely shift everything. That was by far the best first quarter of football for the Tennessee Titans this season. They actually had the lead. So you're looking at that game, and I was critical of McCoy going into halftime. I felt like when they got the football there, they should have went for it. And you run a play or two and see where it gets you and use your timeouts. Because my thought process is at 1-5, what do you have to lose? And at the very least, and a rookie quarterback, you're teaching him situational football. So he gets a chance to run a 2-minute drill before half and put mistakes on film or put good stuff on film, and he's able to learn from it. But you don't go for it there, knowing that on the other side of the half, New England gets the ball. They get the ball. They drive down the field. Cam fumbles. From that moment on, the game's over. It just went from a close game, 17-13 at half, to now it's 31-13 before you blink your eyes, before the offense took its second snap of the second half. So when you have those type of plays, that's the difference of playing winning football versus losing football. The Patriots come out in the second half, you put a long drive together and you score a touchdown. That's situational football, realizing what you have to do, and that's playing winning football. And on the other side of it, it's a style of learning how to win football games as an entire team.
We're talking to Jason McCourty, former defensive back for the Titans, now a great CBS analyst. And this is nostalgic for me because back when Jason was a young player, guys, he did a player
like
show.
You're old now.
Oh, not at all. I'm old. He's not old at all. But back in the day at the Wild Wing Cafe in Cool Springs, which no longer exists, unfortunately, Jason used to do, along with his teammate, Damian Williams, a player show on our station, a very fledgling 1025 The Game. So, Jason, this is a throwback for me. It's great to see you doing what you're doing in the media because we had some good times back then, and you could tell back then that you had the ability to communicate well, and you've made a great career out of this.
Who knows? Maybe one of those shows could have blown up if we could win some damn games while I was a part of the Tennessee Titans. But when you keep losing, nobody wants to come out to your show. So, but definitely some good times, man.
No question. So, Jason, you led me into what I think is going to be important for the Titans going forward here. We know they're in limbo. We don't know what is next for the coach and things like that. You went through some teams where there were coaching changes, and I'm curious what it's like when a team is struggling and the reality sets in that you're probably not going to be a playoff team. How tough is it to stay professional, stay together, and keep progressing? Because for a lot of young players, especially Cam Ward, it's so vital that they keep moving in the right direction.
Yeah, the together part is the difficult part. And I actually talked to Amy Adams-Strunk before the game about it. 10 years ago, I was a part of the team that fired Ken Wisenhunt and Mike Mularkey took over. And the biggest thing with that is, and I would say when Mularkey took over, there were a lot of things, and I don't know if it's similar to Callahan from being around the team a little bit, and you guys will have a better idea. It seemed like players liked Callahan, and they just weren't getting the wins. I would say when Wisenhunt was there in 2015, for a lot of us as players, like you didn't think the way we were doing things were the right way, and we didn't agree with it. So I think when Mularkey took over at that point, it was like a fresh air. It was like guys were excited about what could become the team. So it was able to get going. Not like you're going to win a ton of games. We weren't a good football team at that moment. But I think that helped band guys together to want to go out there and perform better for Mularkey, but for ourselves, and prove that we were a better football team than so far what we had put forward. But I think the main thing, I was in Cleveland the year we went 0-16. The main thing is there's a realization that when the head coach gets fired and you only have one win at this point in the season, the one constant in the NFL is change. And that's even when I won a Super Bowl and you get to the next year after that, there's going to be change within the locker room. When you're losing, entire rosters are flipped over. So the thing that motivates guys the most is the fact that I want to make sure I'm still employed next year. If you're a big name guy like a Jeffrey Simmons, I'm making sure that check is still coming in because I'm continuing to dominate like he has this season. If you're a guy that's a fringe player and you're trying to earn a role and prove that you either as a veteran can still play in this league or as a young guy you can take a spot from a veteran, these snaps mean everything for you to go out there and showcase for the general manager, for Bergonzi and Brinker there in Tennessee, but for 31 other teams as well.
What are your thoughts on some of the younger Titans players? We've already talked about Cam, but some of the young receivers, some of the other guys, who's jumping at you? We've been talking a lot about Cedric Gray in the last couple of weeks. He seems to be coming on. I know Mike Borgonzi in that group is really looking for development with that young group.
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw Sunday DK and what he's able to do, and you've seen it within the return game as well, that he's a guy when the ball is in his hands, he can be dangerous. So I think that's exciting to watch. Gunnar Helm, we saw a little bit more two tight end looks, which I think has been positive for them. Getting Cam Ward, maybe I know he's probably not as comfortable with under center. I know as a defender, when you have the threat of run and the play action, it helps open up things. Watching New England on the other side of the ball this past week, in that second half, after they ran the hell out of the ball in the first half, when they turned around, they went play action. Cedric Gray and those guys in Barton, they were flying up the field because you go in and you know you have to stop the run, and it just opens up the offense so much. But to your point, you mentioned Cedric Gray. He's a ton of fun to watch because he's an old school linebacker in the sense that he's coming downhill and he's trying to take your head off. So I think those are the things that you love to see. A guy like Devin Winston Jr., at some point, you want to see if he's going to get more reps out there on the defensive side of the ball, because when you're not winning games, do you start to give some of these young guys a look to see what they can do? Obviously, Tyler Lockett asked for his release. A lot of that has to do with the fact that you have Io Maynard getting snaps. You have DK getting snaps. Restrepo may be a guy that is bumped up to get some snaps as well. You got to start to see what some of these young guys can do as you're evaluating your team moving forward.
You just mentioned something that we've discussed some, and that is the development of Cam Ward under center, along with the skill set that he's comfortable with in the shotgun. What are you noticing there, and how tough is it for a coach, especially one like Mike McGoy, who's maybe trying to fight for a job here, to develop that part of his game as opposed to what's the next play, and he's more comfortable in shotgun, so I go shotgun. That seems to be a dilemma.
Yeah, I'm working on ESPN, and I'm with Darren Orlovsky all the time. And that's all he talks about, is putting the quarterback under center and how much it helps open things up. And listen, hey, I've never played the quarterback position, so I can't speak to the fact of which one is easier, which one is better, if a guy's more comfortable this way or a guy is more comfortable that way. I always look at things through the lens of a defender. And I know when I'm playing zone covers as a corner, and I'm playing, say, for example, cover 3, and my two linebackers are flying up the field because they think it's run, well, it now opens up the middle of the defense, which makes my job a lot harder, opposed to being in the gun and giving a half-hearted fake. You look at the other side for the Titans this week, the Indianapolis Colts. They're in the shotgun a lot, but they get under center, and they boot Daniel Jones left and right a ton. They run the ball effectively in the gun, so when they're faking that handoff to Jonathan Taylor, it gets the offense, it gets the defense to get up. So I think the big thing is, whether it's done, whether it's under center, you got to make sure you're creating offense and creating answers to questions for the quarterback. That's been the biggest thing that jumps off the film to me when I watch Daniel Jones. When he gets back and he hits his back foot, he knows exactly where the defense is and where he wants to go with the football. The Cardinals game, they mixed up some things and they made it tough. And you saw there were some plays where Buda Baker could have had an interception, different things of that nature, because they were able to create some confusion for the quarterback. For the Titans right now, to me, that has to be the main thing. And I think for McCoy and Bo Hardigree, I think those are some of the things they want to do, but they're extremely limited when you're this far into the season and you've built an offense the way you have. There's but so many changes that you can make.
CBS Sports NFL analyst Jason McCourty has been our guest on D. Mace, Vingan, and Donick. He will be on the call for Titans at Colts this Sunday, along with Andrew Catalon, Charles Davis, and AJ Ross. Jason, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the call on Sunday.
Will do. Good to talk to you guys.
Yep.
You as well. 615-737-1025. By the way, the line on that game at the moment, Colts minus 14.5.
14.5. Oh boy.
Are you taking the 14.5 right now?
I got to think about this one.
Okay. I'll give you until we come back to decide.
I'm less confident at staying within 14.5 as I was staying within 17 of the Patriots, and you saw that turn out not how I want it there.
That is true. 615-7.
Doesn't look good.
No, it does not.
The Colts look really, really good.
615-737-1025. Speaking of the Colts, you heard Jason McCourty talk about his conversation with Amy Adams Strunk. And with the Titans about to face the Colts, I do have a question for Titans fans about the approach to ownership. We will get to that next. 615 737 1025. Hey, Predators fans. Smashville Live returns tonight at Brewhouse 100 in Bellevue at 6 p.m. with Max Hers and Kara Hammer. See your Predator star players up close and personal. You can also get autographs and pictures. The guests this week, Adam Wilsby and Tyson Jost. That's tonight at Brewhouse 100 in Bellevue and only on 1025 The Game.
Hey, this is Derek Mason, and you heard me tell you about Dr. Lodge and his staff over at Cool Springs MD for some time. If you set out to lose weight, chances are it's not your first time setting some type of goal to shed some extra pounds, only to come up short. But I got some good news, because at Cool Springs MD, Dr. Lodge and his staff understands the frustration of this cycle, and that is why they offer a different approach to weight loss. Their comprehensive weight loss program is led by Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and addresses the root cause of weight gain with tailored nutrition, exercise, blood test supplements, and more. They will customize a program specific to you and you only. So connect with Dr. Lodge at CoolSpringsMD.com today to schedule your appointment for a personalized weight loss plan just for you. That's Cool Springs MD, where your weight loss journey becomes a success story.
D. Mace, Vingan, and Donick 1025. The game. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. We are proudly presented by Bax Homeworks, which transforms kitchens, bathrooms, and living spaces into places you can't wait to come home to. Get a free estimate now at baxhomeworks.com. Quickly.
That song, by the way, brings back great memories. I love that song.
Which song is that?
Thrift Shop.
The Thrift Shop.
Oh,
yeah.
by
Macklemore.
Macklemore, yeah.
My kids loved that song when they were little. Woo. We played that a million times in the house.
They
love the words.
I could just hear it on repeat.
They giggle with the little, when there's a little swear word in there.
Willie is the cool dad.
Oh, man.
Didn't you see his
It's
son
I
on
love
the field at Vanderbilt wearing his dad's jersey?
That is not going to a thrift shop, by the way. That is staying in the Donick house.
I see
We will
what you
not
did
hawk
there.
that.
You
As
sure
it
you ain't gonna
should.
let him put it on eBay or nothing?
No.
This could give me $5.
Hey, the way Vandy went it, that'd give you more than $5. It's a collector's item.
That's starting to become a hip, trendy
Exactly.
item there. Some of the throwback Vanderbilt stuff.
We need
Mhm.
some Donick representation of some kind at College Game Day.
Oh,
on
I told you,
Saturday.
I'm in. I am there.
He's
Not-
working
not-
it, man.
Well, not just the fact that you're going to be there. Somebody needs to make a Willie Donick sign.
A
That's what
sign?
I'm saying.
Okay.
Yes.
Mahoney would do it.
He would
I
do
know he
it.
would do it.
He's going to be up at school, so he's out.
Dang it,
of the-
Evie?
She's she's going to be out of town. She's going to
Dang
be out of
it.
town. All right, I'm gonna work on that.
Okay.
I can the Donick jersey could be out there. We could put that out there.
Okay.
And then a sign. I don't know. We got to work on this. I want to
Okay.
get correspondent Max Hurst on this as well.
We'll workshop this.
Yes.
Quickly, Mike McCoy provided an update on L'Jarius Sneed and Jeffrey Simmons earlier today before practice. L'Jarius Sneed, quote, will miss some time moving forward, end quote, with a quad injury.
That sounds
Wow.
almost like
Is it the same
indefinitely.
quad injury?
I don't know.
That
I
has
don't even
not
want to
been made
open that
clear.
can of
No, we
worms.
got to open it. We got this.
Yeah.
It gives us something else to talk about.
Yeah.
Is it the same quad?
But
Which is the
but
same knee.
this is where I think the real question
Mhm.
is. When you hear that, and you're the Titans, are you at the point now where you're like, fine,
Yep.
fine?
If I'm the GM,
He's hurt. Okay, fine.
if I'm the
It's
GM,
not like, oh, we got to get him back. At this point, it's just like, okay, man, whatever. Like all of these plays,
Mhm.
I mean, you can circle about 5 or 6 key plays where he's trailing, and I mean, it's just at
He
a
just
certain point, it's like you're ready to move on.
yeah, he just has not played consistent football. I thought, and I'm sure you did, Willie, because you mentioned it, that worst case scenario would be he get hurt. Yeah, but you give me a year, 2 years,
Yeah.
and it's like,
And
okay,
while he's
he
out
played
there,
good
he plays
football.
well. Yeah.
Exactly, and he gets hurt, and it's like, okay, we rolled the dice. We got 2 good years out of him, and okay, we eat the cost. But he didn't give the Titans that. He didn't give the city that. So I'm going to say he didn't give us that. And he hasn't given us, and it doesn't seem like he's going to give it to us moving forward, because with a bad team, a high-priced free agent that has not played consistently well or either been hurt for the last 2 years, what makes you think that a franchise that needs, young guys that they can develop, guys that can be available, you would be like naive to go into the offseason thinking he's going to be on my team when we come back. There's either you eat the cost or you find a way to trade him, because you are at a point right now, meaning the Titans, where you don't need to hope and wonder if the veteran guy you pay high money to is going to play this year. And if he does play, is he going to play consistently enough that it's going to help us?
And is he bought in?
Exactly. And is he bought in? So if I am if I am Borgonzi, not Brinker, but if I'm Borgonzi, that's how I'm thinking. Like, okay, the best was in Cincinnati. The best was in Kansas City. We got to get rid of him now. We got to find a way to get rid of him. Either cut him and eat the cost, or find somebody we can trade it to once he get healthy.
In hindsight, because if I recall correctly, I believe it was Paul Koharski that reported this. Mike Borgonzi did a lot of the legwork on the trade when he was with Kansas City that sent L'Jarius Sneed here.
Mhm.
So do you think after that trade went through, Borgonzi went back to the office and said, guys, I can't believe we did it. but we got someone to take L'Jarius Sneed. And then he gets the Titans job and then remembers that L'Jarius Sneed is on his team and goes, oh, crap.
But I don't think he, in trading him, I don't think he thought L'Jarius Sneed wouldn't play well. I think they said, listen, he maybe got 2 years left on his knees. That's max. So we're going to trade him away and get a 3rd-round pick. They didn't think that he would play like this. No way, no how.
Right. But the thing that was going on for the Chiefs was it's prioritizing what you have to keep when you're on top and you have too many good players, right? It's not that you don't think he's good. It's what is he going to cost? What's the risk? And they obviously got to a point where they were like, we can't invest big money in him. We know about the knees and we have other priorities. There was Chris Jones and all the other guys they wanted to hold in there. That's completely different for them. So I don't think I buy your theory as exciting and chaotic as that sounds to you, Adam. I don't think it was about that. It's like there's plenty of other examples we can cite. When a guy is about to get paid big money, you have to decide, do I pay the money and keep that guy here? Or as much as I like the player, it just doesn't fit in our budget in this particular case.
I think
that happens a lot.
I think if they felt that his knees would, or he would hold up, just physically, he would hold up, I think they would have pushed more to sign him. But they're looking at it as, yes, he's a good player, but at this part of his career, we can't chance giving him that big money contract because we may only get a year and a half, 2 years out of him. Let's trade him.
Yeah, and what else do the Chiefs do really well? They draft. Yeah. They take the picks.
But they got the quarterback, too. They got the quarterback.
They do. But if you look at who they've drafted, there are a lot of mid-round picks that are starting like, oh, where'd they get that guy? Yeah. Well, 4th-round pick, 5th-round pick, 3rd-round pick. Guys who are not maybe superstars or guys we know when we watch the Chiefs because we don't watch them every week. We don't know their whole roster like we know the Titans roster. But they have made really good work with the assets that they have. That's how you stay on top for a long time, along with having a Hall of Fame guy at the top.
So L'Jarius Sneed, per Mike McCoy, quote, will miss some time moving forward, end quote, with a quad injury.
Is it kind of like we don't even know what the timetable is? We don't really care.
That could be one way of putting it.
Sometime.
Yes.
What does that mean?
We'll miss some time moving forward. That's interesting. Also, Jeffrey Simmons will be week to week with the hamstring injury he suffered against the Patriots. He played, if I recall, 12 snaps in that game before suffering the injury. As Wes in Clarksville says on our text line, y'all think they will sit Big Jeff until they find a trade partner. Well, there have been various reports that Jeffrey Simmons is off limits, which I vehemently disagree with. But depending on the severity of the hamstring injury, that may give inquiring teams pause.
No, they ain't gonna give nobody no pause because that hamstring injury.
I hear what the Titans are saying, at least putting it out there through national reporters. Don't call on Jeffrey Simmons.
No, but I'm saying as far as the injury, that's not gonna give a team a pause.
Right. But even today, for example, I was watching Get Up, and the topic du jour was, do the Dallas Cowboys need to make a major defensive move? And I think there were some rumors floating around yesterday about Max Crosby that I think were shut down. So who's to deny Jerry Jones the opportunity to call Mike Borgonzi or Chad Bricker and say, hey, Jeffrey Simmons, he looked good on my team. So like, I hear the reports. Diana Rossini of The Athletic had a report. Ian Rappaport of NFL Network had a report. Don't call about Jeffrey Simmons. The Titans are keeping Jeffrey Simmons. I believe Ian Rappaport also said that the Titans may look to extend Jeffrey Simmons. But we'll see if that actually holds true.
Well, our team's still going to make the call. If I'm a GM and I know I have needs on the defensive line and I'm a playoff-bound team, so what you said on call? I'm still on call. Because he's off limits until he's not off limits. Yeah, he's off limits until that price starts to get into the, 1st round or 2 picks in your top 30. Then we start to say, okay, maybe he's not so untouchable. What else are you willing to give? But if I'm Jeff, I honestly wouldn't come back until I was 100%, like 100% ready to go, and there was no hiccup with my hamstring, because again, it's not like he's on a team that is bound for the playoffs. Yes, he wants to be out there with his guys, but a 90% or 85% Jeff is better than a lot of people, but it's not going to help the Titans win and achieve going to the playoffs.
Ian Rappaport writes, quote, "The reality is that these trade conversations happen across the league, with the haves calling the have-nots, attempting to acquire their best players. Opposing general managers and fan bases can fantasize about Simmons playing in their uniform. However, the demoralizing effects from fire sales can break down teams that are already struggling on the field."
I guess here's my thing.
Mhm.
Why in the world would you not, unless the owner says you are not trading Jeffrey Simmons, why would you not see what the price is? If you're saying, I'm not going to pick up the phone, how do you know if crazy Jerry Jones wouldn't call you or pick up the phone and say, I'll offer you 3 first-round picks? How do you know? I don't think he will.
You think
But why
Jerry
would
Jones
you
would
not
let that
look
stop
at
him?
it?
Do you
Why
think
wouldn't you
Jerry
look
Jones
at
would
it?
let
That is the
stop him?
dumbest thing I've ever heard in terms of, nobody, don't fantasize about trading Jeffrey. Why? You don't have to trade him.
Yeah.
Shop him around. You don't know what the offer is going to be. What if it's an offer that you just cannot turn down? That is backwards thinking. So it makes me wonder, at the top, did somebody say, like, hey, look, Mike Borgonzi's a young first-time general manager. I don't think he was taught, hey, take a guy who's going to be 30, 31 when that stadium opens and you got a barren roster and you need draft picks, when they have said, we want high picks, we want top 100 picks, that he wouldn't listen to offers unless somebody came down the pike and said, I really like Jeffrey Simmons, don't trade him.
More from the
Owners have done that, right? I'm not saying I know that happened here, but I suspect that that's the case.
More from the report from Ian Rappaport. Quote, "While there will be plenty of fallout for Tennessee," this was written a few days ago, "while there will be plenty of fallout for Tennessee in the coming months, the immediate fallout across the NFL was this. Seemingly everyone called the Titans to see if star defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons was available ahead of the league's November 4th trade deadline. Sources explained that multiple teams called to gauge the availability of Simmons, one of the top players at his position in the league. In the hours and days after Titans owner Amy Adams-Strunk made the decision to fire Brian Callahan, those interested were told clearly that Simmons is not available."
Yeah, you're trying to ward off everybody
Gotta
because
be
they smell blood. So you got to ward off everybody.
Right.
Like, get back. Go
Right.
ahead,
If they're
go.
offering you a 5th-round pick or
And I'm
whatever,
sure-
that's ridiculous.
And
Now,
I'm sure nobody called and said, hey, I'll give you 2 first-rounders, because that wouldn't have come out of Brinkert or Borgonzi mouth if someone said, hey, listen, I'll give you 2 first-rounders for Jeffrey Simmons. There's no way that Amy can say, no, I don't want those
I
2
don't know about
first-rounders.
that. I don't know about that. She loves Jeffrey Simmons.
I understand that, but 2 first-round picks.
But they're giving this. All you got to do with Ian Rappaport, who are the other guys on there?
Diana Rossini.
All you got to do
reported
is
it.
let it be known to them, I'm listening. That's all you got to say. But they're not saying that. They're telling those guys, don't call. Even though people have already called. Get 2 or 3 teams competing, D-Mace, and then you'll get an offer that you at least could give pause on. You see what the best offer is.
Hold that thought, Derek Mason. 615-737-1025. Our phone and text lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll take your reaction to the injuries to L'Jarius Sneed and Jeffrey Simmons, as well as these reports that the Titans have said that Jeffrey Simmons is off limits in trade conversation. 615-737-1025. The MTSU Blue Raiders will take on the Delaware Blue Hens tonight at 6:30 p.m. A Blue Raiders versus Blue Hens matchup. Interesting. Catch all of the action. Yep. Catch all of the action on Totally Hits 93.3 with coverage also available on Totally Hits Nashville app and at TotallyHitsNashville.com.
All right, let's talk Loan Pronto. If you are looking to improve your situation when it comes to your home's equity or your mortgage rate or both, right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. So if you were stuck with a high mortgage rate and or you're looking to get some cash out of your home's equity to maybe start a home improvement project, maybe pay some bills. With Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off the high-interest credit cards, or do what you need to do with that cash, and then skip your next 2 house payments with the new deal. So, for example, one client just got a couple $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off the debt, car loan, saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. So, call right now. Rates are at a 3-year low. 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Get that free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Vandy fans, it's time to party. The Commodores are ranked in the top 10, and ESPN's College Game Day is coming to Nashville to celebrate. We will be broadcasting live this Friday from noon to 6 at the new Party Foul near Vanderbilt in Midtown at 2031 Broadway. Plus, we will be giving away a pair of tickets to see the sold-out game against Missouri this Saturday. So come on out to the all-new Party Foul at Midtown this Friday from noon to 6.
When do they usually name the guest picker? Is it Thursday? Friday?
I don't know.
It's usually Friday, if I
Okay.
remember. If I recall.
So we should do
Who's the guest picker?
Yeah, who's the guest picker? We should do that.
So I said earlier this week that I think it's going to be Nate Bargatze.
Okay.
But I introduced a dark horse
Yes, you
to the
did.
two of you during the break.
Mm-hmm.
He does not have Vanderbilt ties, but he is in tight with Diego Pavia, Johnny Manziel.
He's become like a mentor to Diego Pavia. Hey, if you're looking for name recognition, you would have that. By the way, I ran into Shane Foster, D-Mace's choice, and Shane was very excited that you thought he was worthy.
Exactly, absolutely.
And that we stuck up for him, like, hey, all-time leading scorer, get him in there. But yeah, we'll see which way they go. I know this. The buzz, it is really exciting for people that have watched a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was there for the first go-around. They actually did get College Game Day. I know people probably have a hard time remembering this. They got College Game Day one time in 2008. It was such a perfect storm.
And they won.
They won the game. They got to 5-0, and then they barely made it to the bowl game. They get to 6-6. And this team is in a different spot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the buzz going on campus for it, the weather going on right now. It is just a really good vibe right now. So I do think they'll have some people wanting to do that. I bet you there are agents calling saying, hey, if you need somebody, my person can be there.
You know what I think they're going to end up doing? And I just thought about this. And it happens just about every time. Who do you think they're going to get? Just think about it. Who do you think they going to
Jelly
get?
Roll?
No. Jelly Roll. That would be.
Jelly Roll did it last week, so he's out.
Yeah, exactly. So who do you.
Jelly Roll seems to be available for a lot. He has made a living.
I don't know why y'all ain't thinking about this.
You.
Tim McGraw.
Ugh.
I'm just saying.
That's a good one.
That would be Tim McGraw. They would have Tim. Hey, listen, I wouldn't mind it, but I'm saying that is ideal for Tim McGraw to be there.
But he's an LSU fan.
One texter is suggesting.
But still, he's a Nashville guy.
One texter is suggesting Dierks Bentley. He could be available. Jason in Clarksville mentions Theo Vaughn. Again, Theo Vaughn was the guest picker the last time Vanderbilt was on College Game Day.
He's already had a turn.
Yes. Remember, he picked Vanderbilt because he said, they're my ride home.
Did they win?
No, they didn't win.
We don't need to have him back. Guest picker again. Yeah, we need somebody else.
Okay, Eli does make a good suggestion. And I think this is a suggestion that we can all get on board with. Who doesn't love Dolly Parton? Get Dolly. Get Dolly.
You can't go wrong with her.
Can't go wrong with Dolly. Everybody loves Dolly. One texter says, won't be Morgan Wallen. He's a UT fan. Dierks Bentley is apparently a Vandy grad. I did not know that.
Oh, wow. Okay. That may work.
Nate Bargatze, the night that they beat Alabama, hosted Saturday Night Live and gave a shout out to Vanderbilt on the set. So that makes him
he's
the guy.
Yeah,
he's got to be number one.
Okay.
Unless his schedule doesn't match with what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
That could be. That could be.
Dustin also suggests Diego Pavia's mom. I would be okay with that. I like Diego Pavia's mom.
Can we stop that, okay?
What?
You sound like a teenager. Stop, okay?
I can appreciate a hot mom. My wife is a hot mom. I can appreciate a hot mom.
We all can appreciate.
Yeah, I'm sure we all can.
Yes.
This is a hot mom loving show.
Oh my goodness.
Oh goodness.
Well,
gracious.
I love a hot mom.
Yes. Who doesn't love a hot mom?
Yes.
All right, let's go to Mike on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Mike, thank you for calling. Please go ahead.
Or one hot mom, singular. I love one hot mom.
Mike, do you love hot moms?
Yeah, well, no.
His wife must be standing right.
The show is off the rails already, so let's just go for it. Go ahead, Mike.
Listen, you guys have been talking about trading, and we're trading them maybe or shopping our best players. I'm in favor of that kind of right now because we're not going to win anything this year. And if we're shopping around our best players to see what we can get for draft picks next year, then I'm all in favor of it right now. Let's find out because we're not going to go anywhere this year. Then I'm also in favor of let's find out what Cam Ward is going to do the rest of this year, keeping him in there. I hope he doesn't get injured. We will not then, because I think he's got a potential if we get good draft picks next year on the offensive line to protect him. So what I'm saying is that right now I'm willing to shop around, and if we can't do it that way, I hate to say this, then let's go for 1-16 and beat out the Jets.
Thank you for the call, Mike. Thank you for
Are we
getting
sure
us
the
back
Jets
on
are going to
track,
win,
Mike.
Exactly.
Have they made a quarterback decision this week?
No, I don't know. Well, Fields ain't starting, I'm sure.
Well, I think it's still up in the air between Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields, unless I missed.
I thought they named Tyrod Taylor the starter. I could be wrong. I thought I saw that on the bottom.
I guess it could be worse, Titans fans.
Yeah.
But thank you, Mike, for getting us back on track. We were talking about Jeffrey Simmons and these various reports that the Titans are not interested in trading Jeffrey Simmons. One texter says, do you think Amy's potential don't trade Simmons, assuming it is coming from Amy, which Willie
we're not assuming. I'm not assuming that. I am wondering.
You're wondering.
I'm wondering out loud.
Yes. Do you think Amy's potential don't trade Simmons is due to how poorly the A.J. Brown trade was perceived and she doesn't want to be embarrassed again?
Maybe, but that was such a different time of where the team was and what they had.
But do you think she forgot about that?
Well, this is, again, why I always ask, who are the people she listens to, learns from, trusts, who know football? There's a big difference in a team that has been winning or had been winning when they made the choice to trade A.J. Brown. That was a huge decision. But they were winning, and they were going to try to keep winning. This is a team that is on the bottom. They can lose with Jeffrey Simmons, or they can lose without Jeffrey Simmons. If you can get big assets, it's the only pathway back to being relevant. It's the fastest pathway back to being relevant. It's a totally different set of circumstances. So if you're just saying, I'm not going to trade my star player because the last time I traded my star player it didn't work out, then you're not thinking through the whole situation.
I mean, before we get to these callers quickly, I understand what you're saying and where they are at as a team. Yeah, that would be the way that you would think she would go. But listen, she got flack for trading AJ. She got flack for not signing Derrick Henry back. She got flack for trading Kevin Byard. So she's getting all this flack for these moves that have been made, that she may look at, Simmons and says, nah, I take the flack for keeping him. I'm not taking the flack for, once again, for allowing, one of your good players on a team that don't have many good players to be traded. Logically, it would be business-wise, it's okay, whatever. If somebody's giving you two top 30 picks, I wouldn't let them go for unless I got two top 30 picks. But if somebody giving you two top 30 picks, the business deal would be for a young team, take it and move on from Jeffrey and let him go try to win somewhere else. But it's more, I think it's a little bit more than that with this one.
One texter says, same convo every year. Levis wasn't the problem. Ward isn't the problem. Not even Joe Flacco can save us. Keep Simmons, get rid of the mediocre players like Ridley, and spend money on good players and coaches. Well, if Calvin Ridley is mediocre, somebody will trade for him, but you're not going to get a lot out of it, most likely. The point about trading Jeffrey Simmons, and I know that this angers a lot of you because you love Jeffrey Simmons and he's the closest thing to a star player the Tennessee Titans have. You're not going to get anything of real value if you trade the quote-unquote mediocre players. For example, ESPN.com today had a story listing the top 25 players who could be moved at the deadline. 13, 14, and 15 on the list. Arden Key, Roger McCreary, and Chig Okonkwo. You're not going to get draft picks back for those players that are going to really help turn around your team. If you want to turn around your team as swiftly,
every pick helps.
Every pick helps. Yeah,
every
sure.
pick helps
and they have
team.
Philosophically said, I feel like in the same report, correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, the same report you sent us, I think from Diana Rossini, said they want draft capital.
Yes.
But they're not going to trade Jeffrey Simmons. They basically said everybody on the roster is up for grabs except for Cam Ward and Jeffrey Simmons. But they added in the same report, they want draft capital. Well, if you want draft capital, you should be exploring Jeffrey Simmons. He will get you the most draft capital. And I agree with you, D-Mace. There's nothing wrong with grabbing an extra 5th-round pick or an extra 4th-round pick that could turn into a good player. It's the only way you can have a chance to draft somebody good is to pick.
Right, but I would say that the odds say that you have a much better chance of drafting a good player with a 1st-round pick than with a 4th-round pick.
No question. But if you have 3 5th-round picks and you hit on one of the 3, if that's you have a better chance of success than if you only have 1 5th-round pick. Right? They had 3 4th-round picks, and they all look like they're going to be decent players. DK, Helm, and Iron Banner.
So on this
all
team,
drafted on the 4th
round picks are more likely to make the team and contribute than the 1st-round pick.
Not that they're great players, but they're pieces.
Yes.
This team need little pieces and big pieces.
But they need pieces.
They need pieces, and you need picks to get pieces.
The 2 P's.
One texture.
Picks and pieces.
There we go.
One texture
Big
says,
pieces and small pieces.
Can I get this out, please? One texter says, DVD loves MILFs. Can we make that a shirt?
I think so.
Josh also
man.
Josh also suggests that we change the name of our station from 1025 The Game to 1025 The MILF. Chase, any thoughts? 615
I'm not sure Bud would go for that one.
Probably not. Probably not. 615-737-1025. We see your calls. We'll get to them next. 615-737-1025. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Ving at 1025 The Game. D. Mace, Finnegan, and Darnick, 1025 The Game. Broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Willie Dunnick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, and David Janes here with you. A reminder that Silly Underdog Picks is coming up at 5:20. I'm so mad at Chris Sanders. I'm so mad at him. I was hoping he would go over. I'm so mad at Chris.
He's back.
No.
He's back in the hunt.
We'll save that for later. But
he is going to be
insufferable.
I didn't say that. You said that.
Insufferable.
A quick note. Did y'all know Restrepo changed his number?
No.
He's number 11 now.
Okay.
And
Does that mean he's gonna play?
Jefferson was number 11.
Does that mean he's going to play?
I don't know. So what number did Jefferson take? Did he take Lockett's number? What was Lockett? 5?
4?
Are they trying to do the college thing where
I think he may have taken 4.
you can have 2 different guys? It's
Well,
not maybe at the
maybe.
same time.
But they've called Restrepo up, right? He's called up, right?
I don't know if that's been I don't
Official?
think
It's not official?
I don't know. I feel like I would have heard about it by
me
now.
too. But he's wearing number 11. So that's kind of
Okay.
I'm trying to figure, is there 11 for Indianapolis? What?
I have no idea.
I gotta look.
I have no idea.
Because I know he would play like that guy that they're marking as the star guy on offense at the wide receiver
Pittman's
position.
number 11, right?
It could be. That's why he's wearing 11.
But
Maybe that's it. Huh?
Yeah, it could be that.
But we've had an eventful
You're
first hour of the show. We talked to Jason McCourty. We talked about Jeffrey Simmons. We talked about hot moms. It's all on the table. Let's go to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHunting.com. Bicycle Boy has been waiting patiently. Bicycle Boy, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, fellas.
Hello.
Adam, I'm going to get you off track again here, but you were talking about game day
Yes.
coming to Vanderbilt, and man, I hope Bargatze is the guy they get, because I remember some of the humorous signs that the students held up the last time they were here, and Willie, you probably remember the funniest one that I remember was, "You people are blocking the library."
Yes, we've heard about
That's
that
right.
one.
Yeah, and it just made me think, man, the students come up with some great stuff. Even at Austin P, they had a player named Fly, and the crowd would chant, "Our fly is open, let's go P." Maybe you can remember some of those funny humorous things, which would go great with Bargatze if he was there.
Thank you, Bicycle Boy. And I'm challenging our listeners who might be going to College Game Day. I want to see some good signs. I want to see our loyal listeners representing
You will.
at Vanderbilt on
And if you have
Saturday.
suggestions, text us some sign ideas.
Yes.
You know?
Especially if they're about,
PG-13.
especially if
Please.
they're about Diego Pavia's mom. PG-13 though. PG-13.
Yes. I mean, you can be,
This is a family
provocative.
show. Yes.
but don't cross the line.
Okay.
As they say in hockey, you know, when you with the rough stuff, on the line, not over the line. Or as
None of the rough stuff.
Herman Edwards used to say, play to the echo of the whistle.
How
That's a
profound.
good one.
Let's go to Dylan in Antioch on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHunting.com. Dylan, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Hey guys, love the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just going, yes sir. Going back to Titans trades. Jared used to have a saying, and I didn't agree with everything he said, but he said good teams don't want your bad players.
Correct.
Used a lot in hockey, but I believe in this situation, I've seen names thrown around like Chika Conquelo, L'Jarius Sneed, Calvin Ridley. You're not going to get anything worth value for these guys, so they're going to have to listen to calls on Simmons. And like I totally agree with Willie earlier. If they're just flat out not answering the phone, that's straight up organizational malpractice. You gotta listen. I mean, and maybe this organization is dumber than I thought, and they're not. But hey, guys, I love the show. I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you, Dylan. This team, they're going to, or they're in the process, I'm sure, of finding ways to add more young players to this roster via draft, or the guys that they have, developing them and retaining them. You know, so again, I know everybody, because Jeff is the only guy that commands, the only guy that that's tradable in a sense, because you're not trading your quarterback and you're not trading none of your young guys. But he's the only guy that will get you a first pick and more. So I understand why, Willie or Adam or, some of the fan base wants that to happen, because that's one of the ways you can sort of expedite at least tried to expedite it through the draft and getting all, getting the top 100 picks. And he said he wants so many in so many years. But when you're a bad team, the dilemma is, do I get rid of a player that I know still has a lot of good football in him? That's the dilemma. It's not that we know what we can get for him. Everybody knows the way Jeffrey Simmons is playing, even with the hamstring issue, he should command the first round pick. Everybody knows that. But that's the dilemma you're in. If he can command a first round pick, this guy is still playing elite football. You don't trade an elite player. Look at what Dallas is going through. We can't get to the quarterback, and you talk about getting rid of another guy to hopefully get somebody that can come in here and give what Simmons is giving him more. I know that's the goal, but you can't give away elite players. Good players, give them away. I understand.
Not giving.
I understand. You can't trade away elite players. Like, if he was 31 and still playing at elite level, then okay, we could
talk
about
to lower his
that.
trade value. That's the enticing thing about this.
Not if
scenario.
he's playing elite football at 31 in this league at a defensive line. If you're playing elite football, you're still going to garner a first or a second round
So
pick.
be proactive. Be proactive.
Again, what I'm saying is, when you are a bad team, which the Titans are, it's harder to trade elite when you have one elite player. One. You got some good players, but you got one guy that is proven he's elite. It's hard to give that away. I don't understand why people don't get that part. Like, I understand that getting more for him, you're trying to get the most for an individual you possibly can, and Jeff is the only guy, so I understand that part. But when I don't have any players and I got an elite player that still can give you some good years, and I'm not talking about 1 or 2, I'm talking about 3 or 4, then that's hard to sort of trade that away. That's all I'm saying.
He's week to week. This is the third straight year that he has had an injury that has undermined his season.
Yes.
It hadn't undermined this season. I'm sure Jeff will be back in 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Hamstrings can linger, as we know. I don't know how bad it is, but when they see week to week, it's not he tweaked it. I have no doubt of what you're saying, but you have to give up something to get something. So that is the risk reward. And I don't see Jeffrey Simmons being, I think he can help a winning team when he's 30 or 31, but I think it's the better pathway to take the assets for him where you can get 2 picks and hopefully 2 good picks.
So I'm going to give away $100 to get $50 in hopes to make that $50 $150.
People have been doing
People
have doing it in sports for
but I already got
years
the $100
and years and years.
And it's a crisp, fresh one too.
But
the big face.
But it's depreciating. In another year, it'll be worth $90, and then another year it'll be $80.
It's one of those.
I hope not.
Imagine.
I hope not too. But that's
no. I get
the
that
bill's
part.
looking like one of those bills that you try to put in the vending machine, and it's a little ripped and it's a little bent, and you put it into the vending machine and it spits it right back out.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's just wrinkled. That's all. You just got to straighten it out.
And you push it up against the glass of the vending machine to try to smooth it out, or you put it on your leg and you stick it back in there and it's not working.
It's a great game you got to play. You have to be a great competitor.
Yes.
You don't accept it not going in. I saw D-Mace the other day, earlier this week. He did the old school move of banging it, giving it the forearm shiver because his bag of chips didn't fall all the way down into the slot.
You got to give it a little shiver. Now, listen, I don't want people to think that, I'm being hypocritical, because at the beginning of the season, I thought, like, listen, if they get to a point in the season, then Jeffrey is one of those guys you may think to trade. I said that even before the season, but I look at the way he's playing and I'm like, he's back at that level that got him that big contract. And I believe he's going to hold on to that for some years. It's hard for me to now, even though I said before that, he may be one of the guys you want to trade. Now I'm looking at it like, man, it's hard. It's hard to make that move right now.
By the way, before we move on, one texter says, for what it's worth, I think we should trade Simmons. But my son wanted me to text you and say, we shouldn't trade Simmons because this isn't Madden. We can't just simulate the rest of the season. We have to actually play the game.
Yes, I like her son.
And
yes,
look,
or his
and
son.
Y'all saw what this defense looked like without Jeffrey Simmons on Sunday. Yikes. I can only imagine what it might look like on Sunday with the 6-1 Indianapolis Colts. Remember, the line on that game is Indy minus 14.5. So we'll see. We'll continue to take a reaction on Jeffrey Simmons, but there is something that I want to get to. So at the beginning of the show, we talked to Jason McCourty, former Titans player, as well as the current CBS Sports NFL analyst. He'll be on the call for the game this weekend. He was on the call for the game last weekend against the Patriots. And Jason McCourty chatted with Amy Adams-Strunk before the game on the field. And I was thinking about this today. So, by the way, we can no longer claim that Amy Adams-Strunk doesn't do interviews because she did an interview with Forbes magazine with the headline, Meet Billionaire Tennessee Titans owner Amy Adams-Strunk and 9 other women changing the game in the NFL. Most female owners inherit a team from a father, husband, or brother. Now some are buying their way into football. The Titans Titan goes deep on what it all means for the league. So you can't say she doesn't do interviews because she did an interview with Forbes magazine.
Man, it's just weird how that just came out.
Can I read the first 2 graphs of this quickly?
Go ahead.
Before the Tennessee Titans kicked off their NFL season with a home game against the New York Giants on September 11th. That wasn't the Giants. They played the Giants? When was this? Was this written from? This is published. This was from like 4 years ago. Why is this up? What? Forget I said anything. This is published Saturday, September 24th, 2022, but it was in my newsfeed today.
What's going on with your feed?
Yeah,
What's up with that?
They probably reposted.
Call somebody.
Yeah.
That
Who runs your feed?
Apple News.
Make some calls. This is
Yeah, make
ridiculous.
some
Can you
calls.
call
Apple-
Twitter? Call
See,
Twitter.
But that's what happens when it's live radio.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Well-
Man, wait, we are. Hey, but
I was gonna
the piece,
say,
it was
she
an
did an
excellent
interview.
piece. It was a good piece.
She did an interview.
Yes.
She
She
did
did
an
an interview
interview
back in 2022.
Too. Yes.
Yes, it was a good piece.
This is my penance for talking about hot moms.
And at
on
the
radio.
time, you know, everything seemed to be going
That was the
headed toward everything. Things wasn't on the downside.
Think
yet.
about how things were in 2022.
Yeah, so I'm saying things were good back then,
Okay.
wasn't they? For the
Apple
Titans in
News.
2022.
Apple News, you're on my
that was the year they were 7-3 and then ended
Yeah.
up 7-10.
you're on my
Yeah,
ish
yeah.
list.
They
Apple
lost that game
News.
to the Giants.
Okay.
Yes, you're right.
So forget I said anything. Too bad this is live radio. But we know that Amy Adams-Strunk doesn't do interviews except for 4 years ago, apparently, or 3 years ago, apparently, with Forbes magazine. So I was thinking about this as the Titans prepare to face the Colts. So Carlie Irsay-Gordon, one of the late Jim Irsay's daughters, is owner and I believe CEO of the Indianapolis Colts. And you may have seen or heard about this, but Carlie Irsay-Gordon, she doesn't watch the game from a luxury suite. She watches the game on the sidelines wearing a headset. She wants to hear everything that's going on during the game. And back in, I think it was in June when this ownership transition was announced, Carlie Irsay-Gordon explained to reporters why she wears a headset during games. Here's what she had to say.
One of the things that I learned in going through, even as back as when we hired Chuck Pagano, is that sort of accelerated I need to learn more about this. I need to be able to say, is this person full of BS? Do they even know what they're talking about? And I think one of the things that being on the headset has really helped me learn is, to the question earlier, it's such a complex organism, a football team and how it operates. And on game day, and you could say, oh, that person ran that route wrong. When you learn to find, oh, someone tagged the wrong wide receiver, and it wasn't really the player's fault. It was the person that called it. So, and it's never, I think that's been a very valuable, because it also helps us be able to know, where do we need to make tweaks? What resources do we need? What do we need to fix? So much of it comes down to just how we operate and how things work. And the headsets are really, I wish more, I would suggest it for anyone else that has to pay coaches and GMs millions and millions of dollars. it helps you make a less expensive mistake potentially.
So that was Carlie Irsay-Gordon earlier this year. And Mike Florio wrote a column on Pro Football Talk with the headline, "Other Owners Could Learn from Carlie Irsay-Gordon," because, as Florio writes, the NFL is a copycat league, and the Colts are 6-1. So I was wondering, Titans fans, would you rather have an owner like Amy Adams-Strunk, who's basically an absentee owner, who you barely see her, and when she does, she doesn't talk to anybody except for Jason McCourty and Forbes magazine 3 years ago, except I thought it was recent? Or would you rather have an owner like Carlie Irsay-Gordon, who's on the sidelines with a headset on, wanting to know everything that's going on?
Well, as a player, it doesn't. I mean, you hear about it. If you hear about it, then okay, you have a reaction, when you hear about it. But after that, once you get in the game, it's like just like anybody else standing on the sideline. She has no input in what's going on. She's just listening. So as players, just go out and do my job. But here is because every owner is not going to sit there and put on headsets. That tells me that, she didn't know the game, but she wanted to know it. And that's important. And like she said, it's, I want to know that what they're talking about and what I'm hearing and what they're explaining all matches up. When we go into the room and y'all tell me what y'all wanted to do and how it happened and how it should have happened, I'm listening to it. And I want to be able to match up what y'all said previously to what's going on out there on the field. And I want to make sure when I'm making a decision, it isn't because I think something's happening. It's because they've explained it to me. I'm watching it and I'm hearing it, and I know pretty much what's going on. That may work for her, and I don't see anything wrong with that. But not all owners want to be that up close and personal. We see Jerry Jones, he does it. Other owners do it in their own way, but she's choosing because this is something that I don't think she was doing when her dad was alive. So now she's taking sort of the bull by the horn and says, I'm not going to only, run this thing or be the primary person that run it. I am going to be on the field. It's not to be this, overlord or anything else. It's just to understand what y'all are talking about. So when I do have to make a decision, I know exactly what's going on. That's the way I see it. Maybe other owners, but then again, other owners, and some coaches may not like that. Some coaches may just like, hey, listen, I get it, but can you, do it when you're not visible on the sideline or something like that? So if it's it seemed like it's working for Indianapolis. They're 6-1. So, hey, more power to them. It's not wrong, but even though you're the owner, not every team operates in that fashion.
I imagine what it'd be like for me if I was in charge of some company and I didn't know anything about how the company runs, but I own it. Yeah, like that. But if let's say it's something like, I don't know, some really complicated economics or hedge fund or something, I'm not that interested in it.
But you still would want to understand it.
I guess I would, but if I did that, could I understand it on a level that would really help me? Like sometimes what's the saying? Like a little knowledge can be dangerous. Like if you have no knowledge, you're like, well, I don't know anything about that. I'm not even going to try. If you get a little knowledge, do you start saying, oh, I know a little something about that, but do you know enough about it to really help you make a good decision? I hope she's doing other things besides that, but it's a very interesting thing that she's doing there. She's got like all access there, but I would imagine on top of that, you have some people that are helping her process what she's hearing. So I'm really intrigued by that.
I like the line she had in that clip where she said, I would suggest to anybody in my position to do this, paying GMs and coaches millions of dollars.
Well, she just took her dad just passed away.
Right.
And I'm sure she's taken over more of a role of an owner. So if I'm just walking into this, like you said, Willie, yeah, it may sound a little foreign to me, but I'm going to, at least for one season, dedicate myself to just hearing it and then asking questions later. So the next following year, I don't have to do it as much, but I'm up in the press box, same coach, so I understand more of what's going on.
615-737-1025. Our phone and text lines are driven by WilsonCountyHunted.com. Could Amy Adams Strunk and other NFL owners learn something from Carlie Irsay-Gordon, who is on the sideline for the Indianapolis Colts, the 6-1 Indianapolis Colts, wearing a headset? 615-737-1025. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan. We are presented by Bax Homeworks. Financing options, are available to make your remodel easier than you think. With Bax Homeworks, get a free estimate now at baxhomeworks.com.
All right, let's talk F&M Bank. Banking made easy on purpose. F&M Bank sponsors our Take It to the Bank segment every Friday at 5:45. That is always one of the most fun segments of the week on our show here on DVD. Also, it gives us an opportunity to tell you what F&M Bank is all about and what they're doing for their clients all around our listening area in their 20 locations. They want to take some of the burden, some of the stress off of your financial life. Life is tough. Life is challenging, especially when you're raising a family or doing your thing. You want to take some of that stress off your finances. That's their goal. For example, if you're just trying to save some money without even thinking about it, they have the Smart Swipe debit card. Take a look at that. It's going to round up every time you use that card to the nearest dollar, put the remaining cents in the savings. And over time, use that card enough, you're going to be putting away some money. Very simple tool, one of many that they've got. Just go to myfmbank.com, find the nearest location to you. That's myfmbank.com. They take it to the bank every Friday at 5:45 here on DVD. Member FDIC.
D. Mace, Vingan, and Donick 1025. The Game. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Talking ownership in the NFL. The Titans are playing the Colts this weekend. Colts owner Carlie Irsay-Gordon wears a headset on the sideline as she's trying to gather information about her operation. Mike Florio wrote about this today. He writes, quote, "It's smart and others should do it. Unless they plan to stay completely out of the football operations and rely on their hired specialists to handle the team, they can and should spend the 3 hours on Sundays not hobnobbing, but eavesdropping. And it's not really eavesdropping. She's there in the fray, monitoring the entire operation. Many will scoff at her constant presence. Plenty of owners will regard taking up a position in the bench area as beneath them. Irsay-Gordon gets it. If she's going to make smart decisions about the course of her team, she needs all available information. And there's 60 full minutes of it every week to be had. It's crazy not to do it, and it's working for the Colts."
We don't know if that's working for the Colts or the Colts is just a good team. And that's just a byproduct. Let's not make it, he's making it seem like, oh, because she's on the sideline, it's no.
Well, as he writes in the article, it's a copycat league.
Yeah, but
and
others
the
are going to
owner of
believe
a
that.
6-1 team is doing this.
Yeah, I get that part.
Would Amy Adams Strunk, would it
I'm not
be
sure.
beneficial to her to do this as well?
I don't know if it would be beneficial because I don't know if it's
It takes
necessarily beneficial to the team. It's beneficial to the owner because she's hearing things in real time and she's talked with the coaching staff previously about plays, about things that they put in and why are you putting in them? Why is it called this? Okay, if I hear this, what am I thinking progression wise? Okay, it's good for an owner to understand and know that. But besides that, she's not, because she's on the sideline, I'm not going to think the Indianapolis Colts is a good team because she's on the sideline. Indianapolis is a good team because they got a good team, point blank. Now, the owner's on the side because she's trying to understand what's going on as far as plays being called, game time stuff. But I'm not going to, and I don't think any owner out there, unless it's all about optics, me as an owner, that's not going to make me go down there and be like she is. It's just not, because my thing is, well, if she wasn't down there, if I'm looking at it as an owner scout, would that team still be good? Yeah, that team's been relatively good every year, basically. So her being on the sideline isn't making any difference. It's helping her.
We're looking at two owners here, and
Yeah.
Carlie Irsay-Gordon and Amy Adams Strunk, who are on complete opposite ends of the spectrum from our vantage point.
Mhm.
You have Carlie Irsay-Gordon, with a headset on the sideline, and you have Amy Adams Strunk, who doesn't even show up to a news conference after firing a head coach. So perhaps it's best to find someone who meets in the middle, but I do find this fascinating.
But the Colts thing, we're still at the very beginning stages of this. She just took over, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
this season.
Yeah.
So we don't really know how it's affecting her decisions yet. I don't know how many big decisions she's made since she took over. I think over time is where this should help her understand what's happening, understand the people that she has working for her, and give her better input. So it's an interesting concept, but you have to be bought in. Like, just simply putting the headset on doesn't magically make you super smart. It's how you're processing that info, who's helping you process that info, and what decisions are you making, and what decisions do you decide, hey, I've been listening in on this, but I still hesitate to make a decision based on this. It's not this magical thing that's going on.
Let's go to Jared in Spring Hill on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHunted.com. Jared, thank you for waiting. Please go ahead.
Hey, as long as she's talking back to me with that voice, I don't care what she says on the sideline.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But just to keep it on theme here, but I do think, though, in the context of her quote, of like, to see if she's being bamboozled and people are telling the truth, I mean, I think it's okay. And then Derek kind of countered, well, I don't know if every coach would like that. Well, if every coach is in there trying to hide something or trying to, placate, and if he did make a mistake, to not take ownership for it in those meetings with the owner, who would want that kind of like characteristic in a coach? And let's just be real. I don't know how many games it would have taken Amy Adams Strunk to figure out that Callahan may have been, full of it anyways. But I think it's a good thing. What else could happen? You know what I'm saying? But I would like to see more integration from Amy Adams Strunk to try to understand the side of things. She's going to make all these, non-collaborative calls on the firings of people. So, hey, great stuff, guys. Love it.
Thanks, Jared.
Thank you. Again, is Amy the type of person that would want to do that, or any other owner out there outside of Jerry Jones? Probably not, but she's, it's her team. And she's doing what she feel is best. Maybe she's setting this up to be like Jerry Jones eventually, but she wants to know the ins and outs before she actually gets into being GM and owner of a team. But this is a good team. What she's doing isn't hurting. I don't know how much of it is helping the team. Is it helping her right now? Yes, it's helping her understand what's being ran, but yet and still, if I'm a coach and I don't want the owner on the sideline, it doesn't mean I'm trying to hide anything. It just means that, hey, listen, I think what's best for the team is that they don't see the owner on the sideline, because, and I'm sure she's talked with the team about this. She addressed the team what she was going to be doing, and if she's a good owner, it seems like she is. She took some input and some feedback from the guys and coaches and girls, whoever are on the coaching staff and the players. I'm sure she's taking feedback from at least the leaders, and they probably said, we're cool, we're good with it. So now she's on the sideline. But again, I don't know how much of that is helping this team. It's not hurting them, I know that. But how much of this, let's not make this the new in thing to do because she's a female and she's on the sideline with a headset. Is it helping her team? It's helping her most definitely. And in the long run, it may end up helping the team because she's better adept to evaluating her head coaches. But I'm not going to look at it as, oh, Amy needs to be doing that because Indianapolis is winning. No, Amy needs to build this team.
Yes, it's not about Amy Adams should do that specifically. Yeah. But the question is, how does Amy Adams Strunk
help
make
this team?
Her decisions? How does she make her big decisions? She has made big decisions, seemingly quickly, turning on a dime. Do all these terms fit? She's made rash decisions, radical decisions. So how is she arriving at those decisions? That's the question to me. Not, hey, maybe she should try putting the headset on. There's a lot of things you could do to help you make better decisions. Just surrounding yourself with the right people. All of these things are important. I think one of the things that she has tried is to hire somebody like Chad Brinker and put an infrastructure in place that wasn't there before. That was at least something that she tried. It has not led to success at this point, but at least it was a recognition of, hey, maybe I need to have a system in place here to help me arrive at these decisions.
By the way, one texter has defended my honor because apparently that Forbes article that fooled me was updated recently, although it was written 3 years ago, hence why it showed back up in my newsfeed. Wow, so I feel...
What was the update?
Yeah, what was the update?
I don't know.
One word.
They had to retract a statement from Amy
One
Adams.
sentence they had to change, and they updated, and it became a new article.
Who knows? So I feel better being fooled by this. Let's go to Steven on our phone line. Steven, thank you for waiting. Please go ahead.
Hey, guys. Hey, I was going to talk about Carlie Irsay-Gordon a little bit. As a Colts fan, I think there's a little bit of a misconception, too, that she just started this year. She's actually done this for probably the last 3 to 4 years when she got back involved. And on top of that, when you look at it, it's very similar. When Jim was still alive, Jim Irsay, he wanted them very involved. There's actually 3 owners. The principal owner is Carlie, but there's Kaylin and there's Casey as well, who handle different areas of the team. Carlie has been on the sideline for multiple years now because she wanted to understand, kind of like you said, Derek, the soup to nuts, like all of it. And a lot of people forget when Jim Irsay, when his dad owned the team, he actually started in the locker room like as a towel boy, and worked his way to ball boy, and then kind of worked his way up to scout, and then GM, and then obviously took over when his dad died. So it's not something that's new to the players. Like you were saying, Derek, like if they're okay with it, she's been on the sideline for years. I think because she's the front face of the Colts now, as kind of the principal owner, it's gotten a lot more publicity from like Mike Florio and ESPN that she's there. But she's been on the sideline for multiple years wearing the headset.
Wow.
Steven, before we let you go,
Okay.
do you like Carlie Irsay-Gordon as a Colts fan being on the sideline?
I do. I don't mind it. I think her reasoning behind it is really kind of spot on. Obviously, headed into this year, Steichen and Ballard were both kind of on that hot seat. And I like how she put it of wanting to, why wouldn't you want to know when you're paying millions of dollars? And I mean, with coaches' salaries, they're guaranteed. So even if they were to fire Steichen, he has, 3 years left on his contract. She's going to be paying millions of dollars to these coaches, even if she fires them. Why not have her on the sideline? The players seem to interact with her too. I think you can see like when they've won games, there's high fives. She's running around the field in the beginning. Actually, there was an article out earlier in the year where they had interviewed, I think it was Cam Bynum. She's in meetings sometimes too. And she's actually in the weight room too, first thing in the morning before the players come in. And some of them see her when she's out there too. So she's been really involved with the team. But personally, I don't have a problem with it. I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't spend, I'm not trying to spend someone else's money, but at the same time, that's a lot of money and you probably want to know where it's going.
Thank you for the call, Stephen. Good insight. One texter before we move on. One texter says, to me, it's about responsibility. Seeing her on the sideline, meaning Irsay-Gordon, shows that she gives a damn. Amy Adams-Strunk, being an absentee owner, accepts zero responsibility for the state this team is in.
And listen, Amy, the only person that can change this narrative is Amy. Whether this team is winning or losing, she's the only person that can change it. Do you want her to be in it, in the thick of it, or do you want her to be outside? Where is it that people want her to be? But I think now it's hiding because this team isn't winning, and she hasn't been the one explaining some of these moves that they've made. And frankly, it's been, oh no, you do it this time. No, you do it this time. And it's never really the person we want to hear from when these big moves are made. So the only person that can change this sort of narrative is Amy. Now, if she chooses to go the route that, Irsay's daughter is going, and come to find out she's been doing this for a while. So, hey, listen, the players are used to it. The coaches are used to it. Her dad started off in the locker room helping, and he worked his way up. She started off in the meeting rooms and on the sideline. And now she's moved up to getting headphones, and she's the owner. So, again, I don't know how much of it is helping this team, but I know it's not hurting the team.
615-737-1025. We will continue to take your thoughts on the Titans as they prepare to take on the Colts for the second time this season, this Sunday in Indianapolis. 615-737-1025. Coming up next, the Predators made some big news earlier today. We will discuss that. Coming up next, Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game. D. Mace, Vingan, and Donick 1025. The game. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Jonathan Hutton from Hot Mike with Hutton Withrow will join us at the top of the hour, followed by Silly Underdog Picks. And you can get in on that competition as well. I'll give you the cue to call later, just so you know if you do participate and win, you will win a pair of tickets to see Brian Adams and Pat Benatar at Bridgestone Arena on Friday, November 7th. So if you want a chance at those tickets, be listening for the cue to call in the next hour during Silly Underdog Picks. The Nashville Predators losing skid hit 4 games last night. The Predators lost 5-2 to the Anaheim Ducks to open a 5-game homestand. But the news of the day in Predators land, Brady Martin, the team's number 5 overall pick in this past summer's draft, I should say, has been returned to his junior team, the Sioux Greyhounds of the Ontario Hockey League. And as we've explained ad nauseum, now that Brady Martin has been returned to his junior team, he can't come back until the end of his junior season. So Brady Martin will not be playing for the Nashville Predators until at least the very end of the regular season. We had Barry Trotz on the program yesterday, and he said, quote, "I don't want Brady Martin playing 10, 11 minutes a night. To me, that would be a disservice. And if he's going to play 10 or 11 minutes a night, then I'd rather him play 20 minutes a night in junior and then have him here next year playing 15 a night." In his 3 games, Brady Martin played 12:44, 10:30, and last night, 10:51. Willie, I know you and I have talked a lot about Brady Martin, and we will do that even more during Preds Insiders right after Smashville Live at 7 o'clock right here on 102.5 The Game. But this was the decision that needed to be made.
I think all things considered, I think if the Predators were 5-2-1 or something like that, it might allow them the luxury of keeping him around a little bit longer. But I think at this point they've got to focus on trying to stay with the pack. They need to do well in this series of home games, and I think right now, with the way their team is shaping up and with where Brady Martin is right now, I think it's hard for them to justify putting him in the lineup. When you're getting at what's the saying? It's getting late early.
Yes.
I think
Yogi Berra is
It might be. Yogi Berra sometimes gets credit for some of these sayings when it wasn't even him.
Wasn't Yogi Bear.
But
no, not Yogi Bear.
But I think the saying is apropos. Andrew Burnett has got to focus on winning games because he knows that the next step is going to be he's going to take a lot of heat. So it's a lot to ask to say, hey, will you try to win, but also try to work this 18-year-old kid in for his development? I think it's reached a point where it's the right move to send him back. It would really be nice if they could send him to Milwaukee. And we did discuss this yesterday with Barry Trotz. The rule might be next year that you can send him to Milwaukee. And I do hope that they get there because it's awfully hard. There was no hurry to send him back to junior because he's going to dominate those kids. He's older than most of them now. He's already better than most of them. So he's going to have to find ways to get better and be productive in a league that he's already dominated, right? Mm-hmm. So he's playing against high schoolers there. But there's no other place for him to go besides either Nashville or juniors. So that's a tough thing. So Barry Trotz explained to us yesterday, he said, and he used a hypothetical, but you could tell when he said it yesterday that they had contemplated this. He said, if we were to send him back tomorrow, it would be a win for us. That it was a victory for him to make the team and earn a chance to play some games at this age. So he will have gotten some valuable experience by playing in the 3 games, but also being around it for 2 or 3 extra weeks. And now he can go back and make the most of what he can do at the junior level. So I get it, but did you think, Adam, that when you watched him in the 3 games, I know the preseason games are different, right? But in the 3 games, it didn't look like to me he was a guy that was going to start moving the needle He's not ready yet. He's only 18. I think in another year, there's going to be a big difference in his maturity and strength and things like that.
There aren't many 18-year-olds who are ready to be needle movers in the NHL. That's when we use the dreaded G word, generational. Brady Martin is not considered a generational young player. So this was the right decision. I asked this to Barry Trotz yesterday. The one thing I wanted to see, and I didn't look at some of the fancy stats for the game last night before I'm saying this, but one thing that I wanted to see from the Predators with Brady Martin, and although I understand Barry Trotz's point, which is they're trying to win, I wanted to see Brady Martin in some disadvantageous situations. He didn't play at all on the road, where the Predators can't dictate the matchups during faceoffs. I know through the first two games at home, he started, I think, 70% of his shifts in the offensive zone at 5-on-5. So he was getting a lot of sheltered matchups. And I wanted to see him try to play in a situation where things weren't set up in his favor.
But if he's not flourishing in the situations where the odds are in his favor, then why would you think he was going to flourish in the disadvantageous position?
That's a fair point.
If you're trying to win the game. Now, it's different. That what could happen, right? At the end of his junior season, when that season is over for the Canadian juniors, which is why the rule is, they want to preserve that league. They want great players playing in that league, up-and-comers in Canada, where hockey is king. He could come back and play some games. Let's say the Predators are out of the playoff race by then. They could put him in any situation they want. And if they're out of it, then that's fine. And I think this would go for this huge cluster of players that they have in Milwaukee right now who are age 19, 20, 21. If your team is out of it, then you can put guys in there, see what you've got. Just throw them out in the deep end. If you win, great. If you lose, that's okay too, because you're out of it. But right now, you're in October, and you're trying to see if this team can be a bounce-back team. We don't know the answer to that yet, and there's plenty of time for it to sort itself out. But in the meantime, I think it's tough to ask a coach that knows he's on the hot seat, hey, for the development, let's put a kid who's 18 in a disadvantageous situation. I just don't think that makes any sense.
That is a fair point. The one thing I was concerned about when Brady Martin made the team was if he plays and doesn't do well, how are Predators fans going to react? Because remember, in the lead up to the draft, we really didn't talk about Brady Martin a lot. The day of the draft, there were mock drafts that had Brady Martin going to the Predators, but we spent a ton of time talking about Porter Martone and James Higgins, right? So Brady Martin was expected to be a top pick in the draft, but I remember the reaction from Predators fans being muted, perhaps, confused, indifferent. I don't know which word to use. And my one concern was, well, if he makes the team out of training camp and he doesn't play well immediately, are we going to have the same conversations about Brady Martin that people want to have about Cam Ward? I know it's two different sports, but
one guy's 5 years younger than the other. So that's part of it, right?
Yes.
I mean, we have to understand that. Sometimes it's hard. You watch a guy, he's got a helmet on, he's got a uniform on. He looks the same. Cam Ward is in his uniform, Brady Martin's in his uniform. They both look like these are major league players. One guy's 5 years older than the other. That's an enormous difference. Brady Martin in 5 years will be where Cam Ward is today. There's a lot of things that are going to happen between now and then. Like, for example, Barry Trotz said, I'm looking at D Mace. Mm-hmm. He's probably looking back. But we have whiskers, right? We have gray. We got a little salt to go with the pepper in the beer. We got salt and pepper in the beer. He said, look for a whisker on Brady Martin. You won't find one. Like, he can't grow. He doesn't grow facial hair yet. That's how young he is. He doesn't shave. He can't. that means something. Like, he's young, and he looks young when you walk up there. So Barry Trotz said, yes, there is an occasional LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Connor McDavid, Connor Bedard. It's happened in hockey. I think there's almost a pressure for like the first overall pick. Oh, he should be ready. A lot of those guys are not ready. And that's the first pick. But the fifth pick, and most of the guys, he said, there's 3 left. Now there would be 2 left, I guess. And Misa hasn't even played for San
Matthew
Jose.
Schaefer with the Islanders.
He's the one. He was the first overall.
And
so
he's been great.
He's been good.
He's been great. Michael Misa, who was number 2 with the Sharks, and he's been in and out of the lineup. And then the Penguins have someone. Is it Kindle?
I think that's right. Yeah.
I
don't know much about him. But Barry Trotz said, for the rest of the people, they are mortals, right? These are people they're going to develop a little slower, and there's nothing wrong with that. Brady Martin is their top prospect as of today, after what he's done since the time they drafted him. That's a good thing, but he's just not ready to help them right now.
Willie and I will talk more about this on Preds Insiders at 7 o'clock, right here on 102.5 The Game, immediately following Smashville Live at 6 o'clock, which immediately follows D-Mace, Fingen, and Donick. Look at that. 615-737-1025. Jonathan Hutton from Hot Mike with Hutton and Withrow will join us next. We'll get into the Titans. We'll also get back into Tony Vitello leaving Tennessee to become the manager of the San Francisco Giants. I'm interested in Hutton's thoughts on that. 615-737-1025. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Bingen, 102.5 The Game. D. Mace Finnegan and Donick 1025 The Game, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Bingen, and David Janes, and Jonathan Hutton from Hot Mike with Hutton and Withrow on Outkick. He joins us every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Hello, Hutton. How are you?
Doing wonderful, guys. Hope you're doing well.
We are. I would love to get your thoughts on the San Francisco Giants hiring Tony Vitello. As many people have noted, it's the first time a manager with no professional experience is being hired, or a coach with no professional experience, I should say, is being hired as a Major League Baseball manager. Two questions for you. One, how do you think Tony Vitello will do in Major League Baseball? And two, how does this change the dynamic of the Tennessee-Vanderbilt baseball rivalry?
Well, it certainly does that, man. As far as the Tennessee Volunteers played with the attitude of Tony V, and Vanderbilt played with the poise of Tim Corbin, like that. That's what it was. It was the two coaches through their teams. Look, I'm fascinated by this because I think we could see more of this at the NFL level moving forward. It hasn't translated very well college to pro, right? There's a different dynamic to it. But now with NIL and the fact that, the SEC is like the NFL version of college football. Like I think coaches now would fare better trying to make the jump up, having to deal with that type of element and the locker room-esque pay for play and all that stuff, the business side of things. With that being said, Major League Baseball is a different beast. And I can't wait to see how he reacts to some of these balls and strike calls and how animated he gets in the dugout at the major league level, because they will run him fast. He's got a short fuse and a short temper, and he runs hot. Let's put it that way. I think that team will have an attitude. That team will play with a chip on its shoulder. That's for sure. He gets the most out of that, and I think he will do a great job in that clubhouse. But does it translate to the Major League Baseball game where again, he loses one game and he's distraught? I think it will get some. It will take some getting used to for him, for sure. And I think that the timing and how long this took, I think it weighed on him. I think absolutely not. And I'm fascinated to see at the end of all of this what the real storyline was with Tennessee trying to keep him, because in this era, guys, with the cap that you have for the athletic department, if you're a four-sport university, the way Tennessee is, in terms of distribution of money, everybody's trying to grab what they can, the percentage of the cap, right? Like, it's hard to do. Tennessee's, it's not like Georgia does this, football, and then everyone else. Tennessee's trying to do it at the highest level, that direction. Tons of fans are upset about it. I get it, but man, moving forward, I'm curious how many universities can pull off what Tennessee's trying to do, which is stay at a championship level at all of those sports.
I did enjoy this tweet from Mike Wilson of the Knoxville News Sentinel yesterday. Quote, "So Tennessee fans are making fake Giants fan accounts and sharing wild Tony Vitello edits and made up things to try to nuke San Francisco's pursuit of Vitello. We are in full unhinged territory on day 4 of Tony Watch." On brand for Vols fans, no?
Hey, man. I would be upset too, but at the same time, like I'm intrigued by this. I can't wait to see this play out. I want to see more of this. Far too often, there's a lot of retreads in pro sports, and not just Major League Baseball, just everywhere. I'm all for the guy that's a tier lower than the pros getting a chance to do this. Now, it's unusual to see it not work through the minors, and work your way up through the club. But why not? There's a youth movement in sports right now, and we see it at the NFL level for sure. And we've seen it certainly with the Lakers and what they did with Reddick coaching. So now it's Major League Baseball's turn.
Hutton, how open, how wide, perhaps, is the path for Vanderbilt to make the college football playoff?
I mean, Chad and I discussed this today. If briefly consider this for me, hypothetically, it's a 16-team playoff, and they have the play-in weekend for the SEC, where you have the 3 versus 6 and the 4 versus 5. If Vanderbilt were to win, we're just looking at the standings. If they were to win the next 2 weeks, they're like the 2 or 3 seed right now in the SEC going into that weekend, if this were the 16-team playoff. Now, looking ahead, I mean, we could play the math game. I mean, it's they need to split Tennessee and Texas, and I think they can get Texas. I mean, Texas doesn't scare anyone the way that they did whenever we were looking at the schedule preseason. And this Vanderbilt team can play with anybody. They can match up with anyone in the trenches. That they are winning that battle week in and week out. It's commendable, because I mean, it's not just Pavia doing this. They are going toe to toe on the offensive and defensive fronts, which is something we just are not used to seeing. And that's the difference, really, in why they're able to sustain what they're doing. It's fun to watch. They score a lot of points. It's not really flashy. It's not like they're going deep every play or doing things that you would see from some of the Tennessee offense, or maybe what we're seeing in Missouri coming up. But this is they're just consistent. They're very well coached. They play with poise. They don't like to make the mental error that just the self-inflicted problems that we see across rosters. That, I mean, you have to beat Vandy, you have to play a sound football game, because if not, yeah, you can get up 14-3 or 14-7 and look like you're going up 21-7. And before you know it, it's 31-21 at the end of the third quarter. The Commodores have the lead. It doesn't surprise me anymore. And they're going to be right there. They can be exactly where Bama and Ole Miss and South Carolina were a year from now, or a year ago, and actually make their case. And I think we'll be making that case for them, guys, because you're going to have a 2-loss Notre Dame team that's going to be trying to get into the college football playoff, and a 3-loss SEC team. I'm not trying to give Vanderbilt that yet, but man, it's going to be quite the storyline with all the teams that are bundled up together right now in the Southeastern Conference.
Now, before I ask you about UT, Florida, Billy Napier getting fired. Who do you think is the front runner? I'm looking at James Franklin. I was about to call him Jimmy Franks, but James Franklin.
Frank.
Some people do refer to him as Jimmy Frank.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do at
He
times.
doesn't like that, but-
Exactly. I know you don't, but I want to be respectful to him, so I will say I'm Coach Franklin. Do you think do you think, one, that Florida fired Napier, one, because they didn't want to get food again, and he go on a run, and they end up having to keep him? But two, to get a jump start, because you look at James Franklin out there. He said he wants to coach again. He can't wait to coach again. But then now Lane Kiffin is being thrown in there.
Yep.
Do you think, one, is that some type of power play? Because both of those guys got the same agent. Is that a power play?
Yes, but okay. So see if you agree with this, guys. Weigh on this. Florida, to me, is not a James Franklin job.
Why is that?
They are going after someone to stir the pot the way Steve Spurrier did. Steve Spurrier is mentioning 2 names right now: Lane Kiffin and Eli Drinkwitz. Spurrier is saying that publicly. I think they're going after that. Now, there's a report out that they went after Marcus Freeman, and he immediately said no. I read that this morning. Chad sent that to me. With that in mind, they're going big, but Franklin, to me, is more Auburn than he is Florida. Does that make sense? It's I think from a Florida perspective, I think they're going back to the cocky, brash, out front, outspoken head coach. I think they're going to try to get something closer to Steve Spurrier than James Franklin, and that's also offensively what we saw at Penn State. That's not what they want in Gainesville offensively. They don't want to play conservative. They want to get back to what they were in the 90s, and that's okay. They don't view themselves as an 8-win football team. That's great, but I mean, there's not too many coaches, guys, where you just you circle it and you say, okay, this is the no-brainer. Like, this is the proven winner. Penn State wants to go get a championship level coach. It's like, good luck. Like those guys don't really exist right now. There's like 3. So like with keeping that at the forefront, it's like, do you go with the up and coming coach that you're going to take a swing at? Well, they've already done that with Napier. I think they're going, and I think the next coach of the Gators is currently coaching in the SEC. I think it's Kiffin or Drinkwitz. Then again, that's Spurrier on like podcasts saying he doesn't really want to get into it, but then he names 2 names specifically.
Now, I think at the beginning of the season, I don't know if it was either you or Chad that we discussed this with. If UT, considering what had happened in the offseason, the spur of the coach, not the coach, but the quarterback transfer at the last minute, they swapped quarterbacks basically. And people are looking at it as, man, if this team is 8-4, that's a good team, that's a good record, considering all that has happened. Now, we know UT has started out really good. But looking at that Alabama game, they did show some wrinkles or some chink in their armor. They still have Oklahoma left, who's ranked 13th, and they're getting their quarterback back. And then obviously we know how good Vandy has been. And Florida game is always that game, no matter what the deal is. It's going to be a tough game. Knowing the way UT started, the expectations at the beginning, would it be a disappointing team season considering how they started, or would it be a situation where, hey, listen, this is what we thought they were going to be anyway?
Well, I mean, I didn't expect them to be this. I didn't expect the quarterback to be a better fit from the jump. So with that in mind, I mean, I think everyone agrees that Aguilar's a better fit than Nico. So Heupel
and now
did a good
Nico's
job
winning too at UCLA.
Well, that's true. That's true. But just seeing what we've seen, like, and Heupel's had some game management things go on. Like there are. It's not if you lose, it's how you lose. But let me put it this way: it's not like Tennessee's going out and losing every game. 8-4 preseason, you're like, yeah, man, if you could just like get things settled at quarterback, that no coach wants to go through this and have to like speed rush everything with the install. But I said at the time, this is not a mulligan year for Heupel. He said this at SEC Media Days. It's not like anyone's going to feel sorry for them. And it's a lot like what we saw last year at Alabama. I was hearing from donors and boosters. They're like, oh, we're okay taking our lumps with, DeBoer's coming in, and then he gets his recruiting going. We'll take a year and then we'll go. No. At the end of the year, they're talking about whether or not they want to make a change. There is no mulligan year in the Southeastern Conference. So, it's not like Heupel's getting fired, but you take advantage of what's in front of you at any given moment. So, not every 8-4 is created equal. And since Tennessee reached number 1 and we saw them at that pinnacle, they at number 1 in the SEC last year, they've been 10-5. So how do you take that if you're a Vols fan? You want to beat Oklahoma. There are certain things down the path, but I mean the Georgia game was fantastic. I mean that was just a blast to watch. And you're right. There are some issues that they have to get a grasp of that we saw play out in Alabama. But I mean, I didn't hear from many Vols fans that thought they were winning that game.
Let's get to the. I'd love to get to your thought on the play before the end of the half, because I watched it back because I couldn't watch the game live.
Yeah.
The Predators were playing. I watched the full game back, but I already knew who won. Right, I knew how the game ended.
Sure.
But I'm asking myself if they cash it in there and don't have that enormous 14-point swing, what happens in the second half? Because I'm very impressed with Alabama's personnel.
Me too.
What I keep saying is, how in the world, what happened against Florida State? Because they look like they've got it.
I know.
They're moving in the right direction now. So tell me what you think happens in the second half if they cash it in.
I think Tennessee's going toe-to-toe, but I still think Bama wins just based on quarterback play. Man, there's something about Ty Simpson, man. He's outstanding. He looks like a pro quarterback playing college.
Yes.
He looks like a rookie in the NFL. But without taking the lumps. He's just in command. He looks like Jaden Daniels, like he's comfortable in that system. It's perfect for him. And, I think, just a sidebar. I mean, he and Pavia are what's great about what we love about college football. Like they one stuck it out in the NIL era and waited for his turn, and he's maximized it. and the other worked his way to where he is and had opportunities to leave and didn't for Vanderbilt. I commend both guys. I think both have a great shot at the Heisman Trophy, and that's how I differentiate the game in the second half right there, Willie, is quarterback play. No different really than what we saw in the Tennessee-Georgia game. You know, the fourth down call, the number one, to be able to make the call, but then to execute the play for the touchdown that we saw for the Bulldogs. I get the sense Alabama's making that play this year. And you're right, man. I don't know how they ended up playing as bad as they did with the quarterback talking trash about their defense. Castellanos talking trash this offseason about Bama, and they still won that game. FSU did. It's interesting. And hey, I mean, Tennessee, I don't know. There have been like clock management things and play calls, other things where Heupel's been questioned, and I think that.
So tell me what you thought of that play, because is it McElroy? I think was the guy doing the game, right? He was saying that the formation gave away the play.
Gave away it was going to be a pass.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean they're saying that, and there's time on the clock where it was, and where they were on the field. I mean, I tend to agree. I mean, we saw what happened with the swing and the pick. So yeah, I mean, it was a great read. It was just a great read too by the defense.
It was a bad pass. It was a bad pass.
Oh, it's a bad pass. But
if it's in front of them, it's a
anticipation,
touchdown.
Though.
Yeah.
But it was a bad pass. But the anticipation, I mean, that you can tell they were ready for that. And if it's pass all the way, I mean, yeah, I mean that's smart football by Alabama. They're prepared for that moment.
Jonathan Hutton from Hot Mike with Hutton and Withrow has been our guest on D. Mace, Fingan, and Donick. He joins us every Wednesday. It's not Monday. I don't know what day it is. Wednesday at 5:00. Hutton, great stuff as always. We'll catch up next week.
Yeah, thank you guys. The Colts have a league high 34 red zone trips this season, and they average 33 points per game.
Okay, Hutton, give me one name. Who replaces Tony Vitello as the baseball coach? Any idea? Any idea?
No,
I don't either.
Clue. No clue.
They're gonna get you.
I didn't know if there was a name circulating that is off the staff.
In studio today, the guys are just talking about just they want to elevate from within. I guess. I mean, from within the program. But I mean, that's the thing about Willie. If you don't know, I don't know about when it comes to college baseball.
Also, are you taking the Colts minus 14.5 on Sunday?
Double the spread.
Oh,
okay.
We'll see.
Who are we kidding?
We'll see. Hutton, thank you.
All right. See you guys.
Yep.
615-737-1025. It's time for Silly Underdog Picks. And I'm not looking forward to hearing from Chris Sanders, a.k.a. Little Bill. We'll talk to Chris Sanders and Hal Gill as part of Silly Underdog Picks. Coming up next, Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game. D. Mays, Fingan, and Donick 1025. The game. It is time for Silly Underdog Picks, presented by our friends at Volunteer Hose and Gasket. Without further ado, let's turn it over to the commissioner, Willie Donick.
Ooh, Willie. Oh, Willie.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is your commissioner speaking. Welcome to Silly Underdogs 2025. The competition moves on to week 9. Beautiful fall day, autumnal weather, football in the air, and the insiders continue to make their picks. In the 31st year of this competition, it is brought to you, of course, as it has been the last several years here on 1025 The Game, by Volunteer Hose and Gasket. Let's recap before we introduce our panel the results from week 8, because
do we got to recap?
They were, as my kids would say, signif. There were some developments in the competition. Significant. It started off with one Chris Sanders. I don't believe he's on the line yet.
Well, keep going.
I think if he were on the line, we'd have heard from him by now. Boo. Chris Sanders, the defending champion, had the first pick, and he was going into a week where he had gone 0-7 to start the competition. He went with UAB, going for the fired coach bump, a 21.5-point home dog against undefeated Memphis. Sorry, David.
It's all right.
Memphis.
And the Blazers come up big with a 31-24 victory over the Tigers. And just like that, he's back. Chris Sanders going deep, 21.5 points. I'm sure right now he's looking at his watch. He's looking at the practice. Coach is going, is practice over yet? Down the street on West End. He can't wait to run off the field and call us to taunt the panel.
He didn't even watch the
kids
game.
need him, so he doesn't need to call. The kids need him.
He didn't even watch the game. Memphis was on there.
You don't think you watched the game?
No, because I asked him Sunday, and he said he didn't watch it. He didn't even know Memphis was playing with a backup freshman quarterback. He didn't know that. And then Memphis should have sent the game into overtime.
Boo.
But the coach, trying to be smarter than everybody else, had his offensive line on the line.
I'm reliving it
for like
again.
10 seconds.
I was really
False start.
I was really hoping that Chris was going to go over.
Well, damn it.
And now I'm looking up at Chris in the standings, which makes me sick.
So there's some disappointment in the air, no question. Derek Mason went into the weekend the leader in the competition.
Still a leader.
Still in the lead. After this game, he went with USC, a sensible pick. Big rivalry game, 9.5-point dog, heading to South Bend to play the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Good game.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, though, hangs on 34-24. D-Mace drops to 3-5. So he still leads. So, D-Mace, how do you feel after that? Like, are you looking over your shoulder?
Nah, it's not about what's behind me. It's about what's in front of me. I'm looking at that championship. That's what I'm focused on.
Okay.
The chip, okay?
The chip.
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of chip? Potato?
Chocolate?
Silly Underdogs chip, okay?
That brings us to Hal Gill, who is on the line with us, and he has had a eventful day. I know this because I saw him earlier out at the Predators Foundation clay shoot to raise money. So he was firing rifles all day, talking to the meeting and greeting the people, and also pondering with his committees help his pick for this week. But last week, we were up in Montreal, and Adam Vingan speculated that Hal Gill would not pick up the phone because of his social calendar on a day off in Montreal.
He did.
We have a witness that says he picked up the phone, but he was not able to stay around long enough to actually make the pick.
I would like to make a motion.
Oh, your motion is denied.
No, I haven't even had an opportunity.
I know what your motion is. It's denied.
I'm going to say it anyway because Hal, well, actually, it wasn't Hal. It was Max Hers who correctly predicted
Minnesota over
Nebraska. I don't think Hal deserves these points because he couldn't be bothered to make the pick himself.
Yep.
So I file.
You already brought this up last week, and it's not
file
working.
a motion.
Yes, it's denied.
Okay.
But Hal, did you have a good dinner at least last week in
Do I get a
Montreal?
rebuttal?
Yes, rebuttal,
Do
Hal.
I get a rebuttal? Because what time is the 5:20 call?
And what time was your reservation in Montreal?
I had a 6:30 reservation. I was on the phone at 5:15, just waiting, and I sat there and waited. I'm not going to wait around for you clowns to figure out when you're going to do silly underdog pick. If you tell me it's at 5:20, I hate to be Saban on this one, but like, hey, if you're not early, you're late. So
Yes.
I was ready for it, and I think I delegated my authority to Max Hers, who made a good call.
I thought you fired Max.
I did, but it's hard to let that little guy go. He comes down with the puppy dog eyes. It's hard to.
He
let
does
him go.
have an expressive face. By the way, this is not the only. This is not the only
Expressive
motion.
face.
This is not the only motion I will be filing. But if this one's denied,
Okay.
I'm going to try another one in just a minute.
Okay. But how I was able to watch the game, we were able to get this game on thanks to Lindsay Rowley's phone and the ability to get the app across the border in Winnipeg. We watched Minnesota thump Nebraska 24-6. That was quite satisfying, Hal.
What a great sporting day that was. We were watching Shohei Ohtani just jack balls out and throw strikeouts. And then, of course, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers were on the TV right next to us. And then on the phone, we got to watch our silly underdog hit it for how many points, Willie?
7.5.
There
You
we
vaulted
go.
into second place. And for the record, Max Hurst went to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers game.
Good for you, Max.
And he invited Hal to go. And what was your answer, Hal?
As awesome as that sounds, no. I don't want to.
It was kind of rainy and damp, like dank. We were like, Max. I mean, Max was ready to go. He was fired up for us to go, and he could not get any takers to go to the Blue Bombers game. But he toughed it out. And that brings us to Adam Vingan for the final pick of Week 8. He selected Ole Miss, a 7.5-point dog at Georgia. Let's set the scene. Ole Miss in the fourth quarter, leading between the hedges, feeling good. Couldn't hang on. 43-35. Georgia found some offense and hands Ole Miss their first loss of the season.
All
Adam,
right.
you're in last place. Sorry.
My second motion.
Oh, boy.
You may recall that last week, Willie misidentified me and referred to me as Alex. And because of that, not only should this loss be stricken from my record, I deserve a 2-point bonus for pain and suffering and humiliation for being called the wrong name by my good friend on live radio.
Adam, you have to have thick skin on this show. Okay, this is drive
That
time.
is the most, by the way, that is the most Adam Vingan report ever. I want 2 points for pain and suffering.
Wow. See, you had me
Not
at
get more Vingan than that.
you had me at the name because he said but then you added in that other stuff. You just totally.
I should have come in here with a neck brace on.
Yeah.
Right. That said Alex on it.
Like the guy in the
Not
Brady
Alex.
Bunch. Remember that happened in the Brady Bunch, Hal? The guy who had the fake neck brace on? That could have been Alex.
Yeah.
That could have been Alex/Adam.
All right. Well, we've got Chris Sanders on the line, and while we wait for Chris, why don't you recap the standings?
Okay,
and
so
then
the
we'll let
standings after 8 weeks.
Chris do his thing.
D Mace with 32.
That's right.
Ooh.
Second place, Hal Gill, 25.
Oh!
Chris Sanders, 21 and a half. He's back in the race. Hello, Chris. And
Hey, how
Adam
you doing?
Vingan with 18, now in the cellar. Oh, boy. There's a new man in the cellar.
How does
Hey,
it feel? How does it
Adam, what you
feel to
got?
be you at the bottom?
Got to have thick skin.
Hey, as long as you give it your all, that's all that matters.
That's
Hey.
right, Chris.
Hey, this is hey Chris, you should have hit him with the Temptations. How does it feel to be me? Because you are Chris now.
Yeah, you ain't in third place no more.
A texter has chimed in.
How does it feel? To
A
be
texter
me?
has chimed in and asked me to quit being so soft.
Okay. Well, we do have to get this out before we
Yes.
make our picks for
okay.
week 9. Chris, there's been a claim on this show that you did not watch UAB upset Memphis. Is that
I didn't
true?
watch not 30 seconds of it. I just saw it. D-Max, why you gonna tell on me, man?
Because you didn't watch it, man.
I ain't gonna call.
You are not
Because you didn't
required
watch
to
it.
watch
We
your
were doing
game.
the
You're
show.
not.
We were doing the show last week, and he's like, "Hey man, you watch?" I'm like, "Nah." Oh, he's like, "Okay." Then you did for the show.
Because I watched it, man.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I watched that game. How do you
Oh.
think I told you about what was
Oh
happening
yeah.
or what went
But
down?
Who won? Hey, what's 10? What's 11 plus 10?
Why do you keep asking that?
It
It's
ain't
making you mad.
It ain't 32. I tell you that.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
wow.
get to
All
the
right.
picks this
So
week.
Chris is back in the race after 21 and a half points. That's what he's getting at with his math equation. Okay, week number 9, it'll be D-Mace followed by Hal, Adam, and Chris. So I give the floor to the leader of the competition, the Sparty himself, Derek Mason.
Hit my theme music.
Oh,
Now
the question is he going to do it?
Am I gonna do it?
Is he gonna do
it? You know my rule.
He doesn't like to do it.
I don't like to pick my Spartans because
But you have to consider this. If you don't do it,
yes.
who is going to do it?
Ooh, I can't worry about that necessarily, but I gotta go with my Spartans. Let's go, baby! Spartan dogs in the house on the banks of the Red Cedar. That's what we're gonna do. School that's known to all. Come on, let's go, man. Let's go.
The emotions have caught up to Derek Mason. He is doing it. He
I'm
is
doing
taking
it, fellas.
Michigan State,
Doing it.
a 14.5 point home dog in Spartan Stadium, East Lansing, Michigan, against the Michigan Wolverines.
Man,
I can see the blood flowing right now.
I don't like to do it, but I had to do it.
The pride got to him.
It got to me.
I didn't think you're going to do it. Congratulations.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I
He
had to.
instantly regrets it.
I know I don't regret it.
You've done it before.
I've done it one other time. I think I won the last time I did that.
I don't know. I may have to check the records
Yeah,
on
you
that.
need to check the
Okay.
records.
Okay.
But it's down. Michigan State, 14.5. That brings us to Hal Gill. Hal, did you get any? Oh, well, let's get the theme music out there first.
I love it. If that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will. You know, give me some Dropkick Murphys all day.
Did you get any tips while on the course today doing the clay shoot?
You know what? I still have the gunshot residue in my face. I can still smell it. It's still fresh. I actually just saw a hawk fly out. I'm out in my backyard, and I saw a hawk fly by, and my first instinct was to shoot it. I don't know what's become of me. So this might be a cloudy pick, but because I rolled with Minnesota, I last week, I feel like I have to do it again.
I like that pick. I thought about it.
I have to go with it for 8. I think 8.5. Willie, is that where we're at?
That is correct. The Gophers, coming off of their impressive home win over Nebraska, are an 8.5 point dog as they travel to Iowa to take on the Hawkeyes.
And I should have shot that hawk. That's what I'm thinking with the Hawkeyes. I feel like I probably should have brought
let it get
It's
away.
not an Iowa Hawkeye though. That's a Nashville.
yeah,
Hawkeye.
different
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
That's his cousin.
Okay, so Hal is going back to the well that was good to him last week in Winnipeg, the Minnesota Golden Gophers. That brings us to Adam Vingan, now in the cellar for the first time in a while, looking to bounce back.
Stop mentioning that.
I'm trying to toughen you up.
I know. Okay, I haven't taken too many big swings this season because I like to compile, but I'm in last place, so I need to take a big swing. And I am going to do it at the expense of a university from where I grew up. I'm sorry to my Old Dominion Monarchs, but I am taking the App State Mountaineers, a 14.5 point road dog at Old Dominion.
I looked at that one too. That would put you in the lead, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that will put you in the lead.
Old Dominion, actually
it, 14
Appalachian State,
points?
is a 14.5 point dog at Old Dominion at a place called Cornblow Field.
Yeah, I was there yesterday.
In Norfolk, Virginia. Have you been to the stadium, Adam? You grew up in Norfolk?
I don't think I've actually ever been to an ODU football game.
Okay.
Plenty of ODU basketball games. Never an ODU football game.
Okay. Appalachian State is 4-3. Old Dominion is 4-3. Interesting pick. So 14.5 going big. That brings us to the guy who invented going big. The Forever Titan on a roll after 21.5 points in the win column last week. Chris Sanders.
Let's go. What in the world? Wow. Wow.
I just realized.
Wrong one.
It's the Little Bill theme song.
Wrong one. I'm sorry. Let me play your theme.
I think you should have stuck with Little Bill.
All right, I'm gonna do it this week. Oh my. Okay, here we go. Since Adam is in last place, I'm going for the gusto. And this is what's going to get me in first place. Y'all can laugh and cackle and not for the kids. It's UCLA.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you, Willie? I told you what he was going to pick.
He called it.
Yes.
Nico Fever.
Yes.
Oh,
Come
man.
on, Nico. They beat Penn State in Penn State, and they're riding high, baby. This will be a signature win for the Bruins.
UCLA is a 25.5 point dog at Indiana, who, now you tell me if you ever thought you were going to say this. Number 2, Indiana. Number 2.
In basketball, yes.
In basketball, yes. This is the pigskin we're talking about.
Yes.
I mean, we do live in a world where Indiana, Georgia Tech, well, and I guess Vanderbilt was at one point in the top 10. Well, they are in the top 10.
They are number 10.
I'm looking at the wrong
They are
ball. My
currently
bad.
number 10.
But we live in a world where Indiana, Georgia Tech, and Vanderbilt are top 10 football teams in the country.
Yeah, you would have been thinking basketball.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's why I said basketball on accident.
What a week. This is going to be fun. So let's recap. Derek Mason had the first pick. He thought about it. He pondered it. And indeed, he is taking his beloved alma mater, Michigan State, a 14.5 point dog as they take on the arch rival, Michigan Wolverines.
Smith, you need this victory. You need it.
I just.
Oh, if you don't get this victory,
what was the
coach,
famous line? There's a problem with the snap.
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Remember the
Michigan?
time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's a problem with the snap.
Hopefully.
Can you visualize it?
I can see it. I can see it. I can see it.
Okay. So Michigan State is the pick. Hal Gill staying in the Big Ten. The Big Ten is a big theme this week. He goes with the team that did him right last week, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, an 8.5 point dog at Iowa, trying to win 2 in a row. And these are the Gophers, like in Caddyshack, not to be confused with what Carl Spackler thought he was talking about, the Golfers.
The Gophers.
The Gophers.
Oh, man.
Adam Vingan, right now in last place, trying to bounce back with a strong performance from Appalachian State. Appalachian State is a 14.5 point dog at Old Dominion, right in his backyard that he grew up, Norfolk, Virginia. And finally, Chris Sanders.
Let's go.
He had a 21.5 point win last week. This week, he goes to the fight song that we're hearing. UCLA, a 25.5 point dog. They've been playing better. They've got Rick Neuheisel's son calling the plays now.
Pretty Rick is what they call him.
And they are a 25.5 point dog at number 2, undefeated. Indiana. What world are we living in? Those are our picks for week number 9 in the Silly Underdog competition, brought to you by Volunteer Hose and Gasket. Gentlemen, good luck.
Hey, guys, this week, it would be great if we came back next week and everybody won, because there's double-digit picks, with the exception of Hal's. But still, I have a vision that we all are going to win, and we're going to feel good about one another.
Yeah.
We're not. Only I'm winning. You're not, okay? I hope y'all lose, all right? That fluffy stuff, that feel-good stuff, no. I'm winning. Y'all losing. You know what I said about them kids. You know what I said about them kids. You know what I say about you. Want me to say 'em?
The same thing that the LA Rams say about draft picks?
F them kids, man.
Oh, gosh, gosh,
Good
we're kidding, folks.
Oh, my goodness.
Y'all know I love the kids. Y'all know
We love the
y'all know I
kids.
love the kids.
Good
Get them
grief.
kids, man. Forget them kids.
Oh, man.
If I were the Spartans, I'd get Derek on a plane up there on Saturday morning for the pep talk. He's ready.
Oh man.
Red.
Y'all have a good weekend.
All right.
Fellas.
Now it's
All
your
right,
turn.
yo.
It's your turn to pick at 615-737-1025. The first caller at that number, 615-737-1025, will represent the people this week. And if you pick correctly, you will win a pair of tickets to see Bryan Adams and Pat Benatar at Bridgestone Arena on Friday, November 7th. Call us right now, 615-737-1025. We'll wrap up the show next. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game. D-Mace, Vingan, and Donick, 102.5 The Game. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Smashville Live is coming up next, featuring Max Hers and Kara Hammer. Player guests Adam Wilsby and Tyson Jost. And then right after that, you can catch Willie and I on Preds Insiders at 7 o'clock. But let's get our people's pick. Let's go to Randy on our phone line. Randy is in Ashland City. Randy, welcome to the competition. Your selection, please.
Vanderbilt over Missouri.
Well, Vanderbilt is favored in this game, if I am not mistaken.
They are.
Yeah.
So would you like to pick Missouri to beat Vanderbilt?
I can't pick Vanderbilt to beat Missouri.
No, because Vanderbilt is favored. You have to pick an underdog.
Silly underdogs. You must pick an underdog. And they must win outright.
What about Notre Dame and Army?
Well, you can take Army.
You can take Army, yes.
I'll take Army.
Okay.
Why not?
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it.
Bold pick.
Oh, yeah. If that hits, boy, whew. Randy, if that hits, call us back,
Is
okay?
Notre Dame playing Army? What am I?
I don't think Notre Dame is playing this week.
Are they not playing? He must be talking about next week.
Oh,
Oh.
we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem.
Yes, Houston, we have a huge problem.
Okay, hold on. We're going to figure this out. Notre Dame does not play this week, Randy.
Yes, Randy. So call back in.
Randy was rattled because he thought he's just been programmed.
He wanted to do Vandy, and I understand
He's
that.
been programmed to think Vanderbilt is always an underdog. But that's not the case.
Yes. Not the case.
They were favored against the ranked team for the first time since 1978 last week, and now they're favored again.
So Randy,
against the ranked team.
Randy,
if
you can
still
call us
on,
back.
Yes.
You can call us back, or we're going to have to find somebody else. We'll give you a minute.
I don't think Notre Dame actually
They're off this week.
Yeah.
but they don't. They actually don't play Army this year.
They play Navy.
They play
if I'm not
Navy.
mistaken.
this year.
I've seen them in the past play Army and Navy. Army had a really good team last year. Am I remembering this right? And they smoked Army. Notre Dame did.
Yes.
That was a rude awakening for Army.
Well, we're still looking. We're still looking for a silly underdog people's pick. So we're going to open it back up. 615-737-1025.
We got some
If you
time
want to
here.
represent the people, call us back. 615-737-1025. You can win a pair of tickets to see Pat Benatar and Brian Adams at Bridgestone Arena on Friday, November 7th.
By the way, the Winnipeg crowd on the Saturday hockey night in Canada had a sing-along to Brian Adams' Cuts Like a Knife. The chorus at the end, it's a nice effort there with the sing-along. You know, most people have like the old hat, the Bon Jovi, you know, Living on a Prayer, everybody sing along, or Blink 182. This was new. I appreciated that.
We have Randy back. All right,
Randy is back.
Yes.
Give us another pick.
Come on, Randy.
Do we got Randy?
Go ahead, Randy.
Hey, I'll pick Missouri over Vanderbilt.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Randy.
He flipped his
Appreciate
choice.
it. Yes.
Thank you, Randy.
Okay.
Okay, I want to say this to people because I may have caught some people just getting in the car.
Yes.
And when I said I gave the letter F and said them kids, that means forget those kids. It's just a little thing that I do.
That's
I
not
love
what you
the
meant
kids,
at all.
yes.
Being
Yes.
Yeah, we
Facetious.
knew
Being
what you
facetious.
meant.
But
It's
I'm saying for
forget them
somebody
kids,
that's
yeah.
just getting in the car and they heard Mason say, F them kids. They thinking like, my kid is in the back seat, man. No, I wanted to say forget those kids, but it's all in jest, man. It's just fun.
When I get
I
home,
love the kids.
When I get home,
It was
I'll
D.
make-
Mace's alter ego
Exactly.
in the name of competition.
that was his alter ego, Merrick Dason. When I get home, I will tell Arlo, Derek didn't
He
mean
didn't
it.
mean
but-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I didn't mean it.
Well,
But damn them kids, man.
well, there was one time I was talking to my son about being on the radio, and he said, Derek is bad and Dada is bad and Willie is
Yeah,
good.
Willie's good. Has it changed? Or is it
It
still the
probably
same?
did because I said, I misspoke talking about the female anatomy
Yeah.
that one day. I won't say it again.
Let's not bring that up again.
Oh
Come
my
on.
goodness, man.
Man, we've been a PG-13 show today, haven't we?
Wow, this show it gets off the
slip
if we
of the
don't
tongue.
it gets off the rails pretty
Yeah.
fast around here, you know. but we managed to get it back on the rails.
We swerved off the road for a few minutes, talked about hot moms, and then swerved back on the road.
Willie
Okay,
and I are like Walter. What is it? What was this? The movie that was it? Walter Matthau.
Walter Matthau.
The grumpy,
in
the grumpy old man.
Yeah. But we're not grumpy.
You can be grumpy sometimes.
What did the tweet about Tennessee's baseball coach say?
Hutton sent this to us after we stopped talking to him from Buster Olney of ESPN. With Tony Vitello moving to the San Francisco Giants, the Tennessee head coach job is open, and among those interested is Curt Schilling, who lives in Tennessee.
Now, Buster Olney goes way back on ESPN, and
Curt
at a
Schilling
time,
used to be on ESPN.
Curt Schilling was an excellent baseball analyst at ESPN, and then was let go. But there's probably a relationship there. So is that Curt Schilling going to Buster Olney and saying, I want to throw my hat in the ring?
So Buster's throwing it out there?
A trial balloon, perhaps?
Perhaps. It's intriguing.
But what does UT
But I don't think he's
do?
ever coached Curt Schilling.
But he would certainly fill the fiery aspect that's being left behind by
in a
Tony
different way.
Vitello.
Yeah, so that would be really interesting. And did Curt Schilling play college baseball? I don't think so. I think he went out of high school. So
Not
would
sure.
go from having a college coach go straight to the big leagues, who has never been in pro baseball, and then replace him in this hypothetical with a guy that has never been any part of college baseball, and you'd be a
But
head
do you
coach.
think they hire from within, considering the timeline?
I think that there's a pretty good shot. The timing of this. You've already at the end of the fall, you've got a pretty good sense of your roster. And it's a new thing in the fall because you're allocating NIL, you're making, in a lot of cases, you're making cuts. You've got to get your roster down. There's a roster limit on that. It's a really interesting situation Tennessee's in there, because there might be some kids that are like, oh, Coach Vitello is not here. Maybe I'm going to the portal. I don't know how that's
if a
going to
new
work.
coach comes in. So it's almost better that if they want to maximize keeping their players, hire from within.
We can pick up this conversation tomorrow. We will be live at Bridgestone Arena. Predators versus Canucks in Game 2 of the Predators' 5-game homestand. Elliot Friedman will join us at 5 o'clock from Sportsnet. We'll get back into the Titans versus the Colts, all of the things, maybe even some hot mom talk. I can't promise you that we won't do it. But Smashville Live is coming up next.
Be love on your people, including kids. People, have a safe, blessed, and wonderful day. I love you. The team loves you. You hear that song. Don't you forget about us. We will be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock, same time. Peace.